Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming to you from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world: movies, movie news, TV, streaming, all sorts of good things. It's Wednesday. That means coming back from Vancouver. That's right, my house, she was in my stomping grounds.
Yes.
Erin Cummings is here with Joey Bishop. How you doing?
Yes, we are back from Vancouver, where I got permission to say.
Oh, you do. You can tell people what you're doing up there.
Yes, I will be back and forth because I am the new chief of police for Horseshoe Bay on the CW's Nancy Drew.
Woo!
Thank you. And let me tell you, it is a fantastic show to work on. I have been binging it. It's a fun show to watch, and the cast and crew could not be more lovely, and I say that with all sincerity. Like, literally, I said to the driver one day, I go, I don't mean to sound like an old fart, but man, those are some great kids. Like, you expect by season 4 that young people in their 20s with lots of money on a successful television show would be total D-heads, but they're not. They're like some of the most lovely individuals, and I'm very excited to go back later this month and start filming a couple more episodes.
That is awesome. I'm very excited. We've been sitting on that. We haven't told anybody you were gone doing. That's so cool that you've already been up there a few weeks. You're going to go back out there and shoot some more.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Joining us, of course, is Chris Carr. Chris, what CW show are you on this week?
I'm not on any CW shows this week, but I'm so excited to hear that.
You're not on Riverdale?
I should be on Riverdale.
Your life is
with
Riverdale.
how much I love it.
Right.
I'm so happy that they're all nice because I am actually very invested in that show. So
Really?
yeah.
Oh, like
I'm
they're
super pumped.
They're fantastic. Yes. However, Riverdale, I got apparently not so much. One of the crew people was like, "That's the worst cast I've ever worked with in my life. They are awful."
Oh, really?
So, well, they're unemployed now, so be nicer. Be nicer to your crew.
And of course, the other big Nancy Drew fan sitting over here joining you guys in the live chat, Ray Ora today.
Keep it down. I'm watching some trailers.
And right beside him running the show today, of course, producer Jonathan Boyko.
Hey, everybody. How you guys doing? Hopefully you're not spilling coffee all over your car like I
Oh,
did
yeah,
this
you
morning.
had a tragic coffee accident
Yeah,
today.
it was
What?
terrible. Yeah, it was terrible. But see, bad things happen to Hollywood stars too, guys.
It's true.
It happens. Anyway, guys, and you guys are here today joining us, and we're so glad that you are. Here's how today's show is going to go. We're going to break it down into 2 parts. In the first half of the show, we're going to talk about some predetermined topics. And in the second half of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. If you want to get a live comment or question on, there's 2 things you got to do. Number 1, you got to be watching live. Number 2, when we get to the end of our main topics, we're going to announce that we're opening up the super chats. At that point, jump in, start firing in your comments, questions, thoughts, opinions, theories. But be kind of quick because we do only keep it open for a couple of minutes, so get those in there as fast as you can. All right, guys, we've got a lot to cover here today, so let's just dive right into it. And we're going to start with a couple of off the tops, and the first one is this. In the history of Hollywood, there's been many, many circumstances when one studio will do something and another studio will do something that kind of mimics it at the same time. We had, White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen or something like that. Then we had Vancouver and Dante's Peak. We had Deep Impact and Armageddon. But we've got 2 Pinocchio films coming out. One, live action starring Tom Hanks that we know about. It's called Geppetto. That looks like it's going to be great. But there's been another one, a stop-motion animation one from Guillermo del Toro. And of course, we saw a little tease of that a few months ago with Hugh McGregor as a very different-looking Jiminy Cricket, a more accurate-looking Jiminy Cricket, I suppose, notwithstanding the mustache. But still, that's fascinating. Anything Guillermo del Toro does is fascinating. Well, the first trailer for Pinocchio has come out. And I'm going to be honest with you. I have never been less interested in a Guillermo del Toro project, because I'm really interested in all of his projects, but not so much this one. This trailer is magical. It instantly stole my heart. It's a story of loss and love as this old man is like taking care of the ground around his son's grave.
Imperfect Fathers is the one where I was like, oh, I'm going to cry.
Story of imperfect fathers and imperfect sons. And I'm like, okay, shut up. This is like, it instantly grabs you. And it goes on. Then you hear, I guess it's the fairy godmother's voice. It's like, the wooden boy with a borrowed soul, fill his days with light. Talking about Geppetto, like, fill his days with light. And I'm just like, this isn't what I mean, visually, I could see Guillermo del Toro. I could you just see with the stylings of his art style, right? I could see that. But this was like a little bit different of a tone and a feeling I got from other Guillermo del Toro stuff. I got to tell you, not super interested in this film when I woke up this morning. I'm very interested in this now. This looks delightful. Aaron, you just watched it like a few minutes ago. What did you think about this trailer?
You know, it is going to take like all of the testicular fortitude that I can muster to be able to watch this without completely losing it. I mean, this already is giving me those beginning of Up vibes, you know, which I remember.
Yep.
My boyfriend at the time was like, "Oh, we should watch this great cartoon," and then we snuggled into bed and we turned it on, and within 10 minutes I ran out of the room crying, "Why are you making me watch this?" And so, yeah, I mean, gosh, I was already getting, teary-eyed just watching the trailer. I am a big Guillermo del Toro fan. He is in my top 5 directors of all time. And so anything he does has that little bit of magic and creativity that he brings to every one of his projects. But man, there is some heart and some heartbreak that I don't know if I'll be able to do right now, because I just had a son and, and so everything's a little raw and fresh for me. So I might have to wait until he's in his 20s or 30s to go see it, but maybe not even then. But yes, I can see that this is going to just be a magical film that I would not. Now, does this fall into the animation category?
It's stop motion animation, yeah.
Okay, so then, because I'm already imagining Guillermo del Toro's Academy Award acceptance speech for when he wins for Best Animated Film.
Would stop motion animation?
That's what I was
qualify
wondering.
for
It does
animated?
qualify.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Does that
Absolutely.
qualify?
Yeah,
That's
like
interesting.
it's
I
and
never
tons
even
of
thought
stuff
about
that have gotten nominated.
Okay, I didn't even think about that. You had a chance to watch this trailer, Chris. What did you think
Oh
about
my
it?
gosh, I'm gonna cry so much. Y'all thought I was ridiculous those first few minutes of Lightyear. Lord, I'm going to be sobbing during this. I love this. I love stop motion animation. It's one of my favorite things of all time. Christmas tradition is that I have to watch Claymation Christmas. So
That's a good one.
anything with stop motion, I am all here for. This looks charming as all get out. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not particularly excited about the Disney version of Pinocchio. All the footage I've seen, I haven't been super, super pumped for, whereas this seems very magical and otherworldly and charming. And the other one hopefully will deliver those things too. But this is the one that I'm really, really psyched for.
Yeah, and I wasn't before today. And that's the power of a good trailer. Take your expectation levels, no matter how high or how low they are, and bump them up. Well, that's what this trailer did, and I think it looks amazing. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Have you had a chance to see this new trailer for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio? I'm floored by it. What did you guys think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's do one more off the top, shall we? And it's also about another trailer, and that's this. When we were at CinemaCon a few months ago, one of the movies that they showcased was the new Sylvester Stallone film, Samaritan. Now, of course, showcasing it at CinemaCon, at that point, it was meant to be a theatrical release. Since then, we have found out that it's going directly to Amazon Prime. Now, they've put out a full trailer for it today that's landed online, and I gotta say, I was not as moved by it as I was with the Pinocchio trailer.
Shocking.
But this is I think this is a really good trailer. And I remember the footage, because this was a different piece than they showed us at CinemaCon. There's a bunch of different stuff, like him getting hit by the car, that wasn't in the trailer.
Yes, it was.
Was that part in it?
I very much remember that. Yeah.
Well, because there's a number of things that was in CinemaCon that wasn't here. And so this is a slightly different thing of what we saw. And I liked what we saw in CinemaCon, and so I was a bit confounded when I found out that they changed direction and they were moving it from theatrical to Amazon. Like, why are you dumping this online? And now I just saw this trailer, and I was expecting, well, now in the next trailer, we're going to start to see some of the holes in it. But I got to tell you what, for what it is, simple premise. A guy who was a superhero a couple of decades ago decided to let the world think he was dead, and some kid who is a retro fan of the old superhero finds out that he's still alive, and of course it's Sylvester Stallone. But it played well. I thought the action looks great. I want to see Sylvester Stallone kicking people's asses. The whole thing, I I think it looks great. And it leaves me, again, a little bit more confounded why they decided not to put this in theaters. I wish they had. Again, not as good as the trailer of the day is Pinocchio, no doubt. But I thought this was also a pretty good one. Anyway, Chris, you had a chance to see the new trailer for Samaritan. What did you think of it?
I mean, it does look fun. I'm so excited that kid who plays Stan in season 3 of Umbrella Academy is working more, because that kid's hysterical. I think he's so good. I'm really, really excited to see him do more work. I think, Sly is doing a great job in this as the weathered superhero, the reluctant hero and everything. And of course, we've got that Greyjoy showing up as the villain.
Yeah.
That's the thing
Yeah.
I'm most pumped up, because that dude was a son of a bitch on Game of Thrones. So I really want to see what he's got up his sleeve here. I think this could be promising.
Aaron, what did you think about the trailer?
Oh, I was thrilled about it at CinemaCon, and now am also thrilled about it finally making its appearance. I have been a big fan of Sylvester Stallone for so long, just because of his, dare I say, origin story. But if you don't know, I'm not going to go into it, but if you don't know the story of how Sylvester Stallone got Rocky made and how he really believed in himself against all the odds and against all the naysayers, it really is an inspirational story. And so I just am a big fan of him for just proving everybody wrong and being an example of how you can rise above the negativity. And so I agree. I love the idea of him coming back as this, begrudging superhero. And he has a lot of quotes in the trailer, at least that we've seen, that kind of harken back to a little bit of him being Rocky and now being on the other side. He said something like, he said, "I'm not as strong as I used to."
He said, "How strong are you?" And he says, "Not as strong as I used to be. Things start to break down when you stop caring. And I stopped caring a long time ago."
Yes.
That was a great line.
That is a great line. And I just feel like this is kind of one of those movies that we're going to get the superhero, we're going to get the action, we're going to get Sly Stallone really being in his element the way that we want him to be. But we're also going to come away with a couple of inspirational one-liners that make us go, yeah, okay, I can fight another day. So I'm excited. I'm really pumped up for this movie.
Yeah, I was surprised they kind of dropped to this point again. It just makes me more bummed that I can't watch it in a theater. Like, I really want to watch this in theater. Like, just recently, like the Hulu movie Prey, the Predator movie, I got to see a press screening of it in a theater. I'm like, I am so glad my first experience of this movie was not on a TV screen. I hope I get that same experience.
Well, it makes me wonder if Amazon Prime just kind of like backed up the money truck and made them a deal they couldn't refuse. Because I don't see why they would plan on it being released theatrically and then make such a massive pivot. And I agree. I don't see what the holes would be in this movie so far, just from what we've seen in the trailers. It seems like a no-brainer. But, sometimes money changes people's minds.
If you want to be skeptical, which, I never am.
Ever.
But if you want to be skeptical, you could go, when they sat down and looked at the final product, they thought this is going to get terrible reviews. So let's just look for a streaming partner to put it on. If you want to be skeptical.
Yeah. I'm also very excited about Euron Greyjoy because, boy, do I love a bad man. I love a bad boy. I loved him in Game of Thrones, and I like that he's the bad boy in this. I'm like, Euron, just keep being a bad boy. That's all you need to do. Do not ever let them make you a leading man. Ever.
The question is, you know what? Filter between brain and mouth engaged.
No! Don't tell me then, because I love the dirty jokes.
Filter between brain and mouth engaged. Anyway, guys,
now.
Question is for you guys. What do you think about the trailer for Samaritan? I actually think it's pretty damn good. I mean, not as good as the Pinocchio trailer, but I thought it was really good. Whatever you guys thought about it, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. Okay, guys, we're going to move into our main topics now. But before we do, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of today's show, our friends at Peacock and their new upcoming series, The Resort. We want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's episode, the new Peacock series, The Resort. In Peacock's must-see new series, there's more than just trouble in paradise. There's a flip phone, a disappearance, and a suspiciously timed hurricane. The Resort, a new Peacock original from the creators of Palm Springs and Mr. Robot, is an unexpected exploration of how love, marriage, and family can be a real trip. When a couple finds an old flip phone in the jungle on an anniversary getaway, they are unknowingly pulled into an unsolved mystery, a bizarre case that went cold 15 years prior when a once-in-a-century storm wiped away all evidence. This journey through the Mayan Riviera will take you from the edge of your seat to the depths of human experience and back again. Starring William Jackson Harper, Kristen Milioti, Luis Gerardo Mendez, and Nick Offerman, The Resort is streaming July 28th only on Peacock. And thank you to our friends at Peacock. Looking forward to that show, The Resort, for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. All right, guys, with that down, let's now move into our main topics here today. And how do we select our main topics on the show? Well, that's why we need you guys. You see, you guys come up with our main topics. Whenever you guys come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic here on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely 100% free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
Our first topic comes from Gent Obleby. I've been excited about DC's League of Super Pets ever since they first announced it years
Good
ago.
for you.
I got especially excited when they started showing the trailers since I thought they looked great. Wanted to know if you saw that the reviews are now coming out and they're really positive. Question for John, are you starting to get at least a little excited for the movie now that the reviews are good? Thanks.
No. Okay, look.
Man.
So I remember I was actually at Warner Brothers. I was at the on the lot in the offices, and there was a group of about 4 or 5 of us, and we before anybody else did, they told us we were making a Super Pets movie. And I remember thinking, that's dumb. And, then they announced that, The Rock is going to be a voice, Kevin Hart's going to be a voice, John Krasinski, I think, is going to be a voice. Like a bunch of people.
Kate McKinnon, Mark Maron,
Great
Keanu
voice
Reeves
cast. Yep.
as Batman.
As
Batman, yes. That's the one funny thing in the one trailer. He goes, if that's not a licensed thing, I'm going to freak out. And that was a great line. That was a great line. I'll give it to him. So I watched the trailers. None of them made me grin. None of them made me giggle. And of course, I am a huge Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson fan. And I really like Kevin Hart. I don't care what anybody says. I like Kevin Hart. But nothing about this movie has looked interesting to me. So now the reviews start coming out, and I'm expecting them to be terrible. Just terrible. But you know what? As Ray pointed them out to me the other day, they're pretty good. Actually, they're better than pretty good. Right now, the last I checked, at least, Ray, maybe you can double check this.
Yeah, sure.
But the last I checked, on Rotten Tomatoes, Super Pets had an 83. Which
so it went up.
that's the last I saw. So I don't know if it's gone up or down
Oh,
since then.
no.
Uh-oh. What's in the 60s now?
It's 72%.
Oh, come
Ooh,
on.
72%. All right.
69 or bust.
Which is still way higher than what I thought it would be. Way higher. And that's a massive majority of the critics who are watching it that like it. 7 out of every 10, more than 7 out of every 10, like it as opposed to those who don't. And so I got to tell you, I'm surprised. So when Ray brought it up to me yesterday, I thought, you know what? Fine. So tomorrow, I went and bought tickets.
Oh, no.
So tomorrow, me, Ray, and Ann, we're
40X.
going to go watch Super Pets.
In 40.
Wow.
And not in
Okay.
40X. No, we are not doing it in 40X. We're going to go watch Super Pets, and I will do a right out of the theater reaction with Ray.
Wait, what time is the movie?
5 p.m.
Okay.
Los Angeles time.
Okay, so tomorrow night, because I want to see that right out of the theater.
Yeah, so I will put that up. And look, do I still have a lot of belief in this movie? No. But seeing a number of critics who, I know, respect, and sometimes my opinions line up with, saying that they had a really good time. I mean, none of them are saying this is the new Incredibles. Like nobody's comparing it to that. But what most of the positive reviews are saying is like, you know what? It's a good time. It's a good time. Not
1
a
hour
lot
and
of
46 minutes. That's a good time.
how many? How long?
1 hour, 46 minutes.
What? No,
Yes.
that's not possible.
That
You
is
think it's a
good.
little longer than you thought?
That's almost 2.5 hours. This movie.
Well, no, it's 1 hour and 46 minutes.
Oh, I thought you said 146
40, yeah.
minutes.
No, 1 hour and 46 minutes.
Oh, I thought you said 147. There's no way they
Yeah.
made this movie 2.5 hours
John's gonna
long.
be sweating at the end of that movie.
Okay, hour 46. That one I buy. So, yeah, Ray, you've been more excited about this than me. Are you still looking forward to seeing this?
I will say, this is not like all the other DC animated films, but
No,
it
very
is
different.
DC. And they've always been good to me, a lot of them. So I have faith in, come on, it's
Hey, man,
dogs.
you get yourself a burrito, it'll be fine.
I mean,
That's how it feels.
I won't need it.
You'll stretch out and take a nap.
I'm excited for this. I mean, I think it looks cute. I mean, you got Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart.
All right.
What could go wrong?
Aaron, do you got any interest in this movie whatsoever? And then the reviews have been generally positive. I don't know. What are you thinking?
Okay, so the trailer we saw at CinemaCon for me was misleading. So, because when I hear super pets, I want to see Superman's super dog, Batman's bat dog, Wonder Woman's Wonder Cat. Like, I want to see the actual side by side, and we have that in Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
But none of the other ones.
Huh?
But none of the other ones.
You know? So, like, we have Merton McSnurtle, who's an anthropomorphic turtle from the golden age of comics, and he's got a costume similar to the Flash. So that's great. But, like, I want to see the... but this is more like, I guess...
Is that Brendan Fraser in that picture?
Oh my goodness.
That's a foreshadow to another topic.
Foreshadowing. But, yeah, you know what? Wow. I don't know. I mean... The Secret Life of Pets 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time because there is a really fantastic whole thing that happens with this crazy cat lady, which we all know that I am. And she has like 85 cats, which is my dream. So I love Secret Life of Pets 2. So I really want to like this movie. I'm interested in your out of the theater review tomorrow. I feel like that might be the thing that changes it. But I feel like sometimes these movies, they're so hit or miss. And if you don't really knock it out of the park, it does. I don't know. I'm on the fence with it. I really am. It's got an incredible lineup, including Jermaine Clement, who is
I love him.
Like, oh my gosh.
Chris, where's your expectation level right now?
Ray and I have been very excited about this movie.
Yes, you have.
We've been very excited about this. Looks charming as all get out. And sometimes superhero properties are made for kids, y'all. And that's fine. That's fine. I think this is going to be something that everyone enjoys. I'm so excited for this out of the theater review. I'm so pumped because you're going to like it. And Ray's going to walk out of there like a dashboard confessional song. He's going to be vindicated, baby.
Yeah.
What if he hates it?
I don't think he will.
No, I don't think
What
he
if
will.
we have to do our review? We have to stand in between something or put something in between us.
It gets that heated?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, guys, question is for you. The reviews for Super Pets are coming out pretty overwhelmingly positive, way more positive than I expected they would be. What do you think? Are you excited to see this film? Do you have high expectations? Maybe you don't. Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. All right, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic number 2. Chris, what is our second main topic today?
Our second topic comes from Tony Eddie Tony. Greetings and salutations. Just saw the first picture of Brendan Fraser in a new movie called The Whale. The thing is, I've never even heard about this movie until I saw this picture, and it sounds absolutely amazing. It's being directed by Darren Aronofsky, and it's instantly one of my most anticipated movies. Have you guys heard about this movie, and what are your thoughts on the image? Thanks.
Every once in a while, this happens, like an image or a poster will drop, and I'll go, I totally forgot about that. And it had to have been like a year ago that I think that we were first talking about Aronofsky's going to do this new movie, blah, blah, blah. So I had completely forgotten about it. Then out of nowhere comes this image of Brendan Fraser in it. Now, before we look at the picture, it's good to kind of get a description of the movie to get what we're talking about so you can get it in context. This comes just from the folks over at Screen Rant who write the following. Say this, Fraser's role in The Whale is indeed perhaps the most challenging he's ever tackled. The film sees the star playing Charlie, a middle-aged man who has become a 600-pound recluse after years of binge eating to deal with the guilt of leaving his family for his gay lover. Stranger Things' Sadie Sink co-stars as Ellie, the daughter of that Charlie wants to reconnect with after abandoning her years before. The cast also includes Hong Chow, Samantha Morton, and Ty Simpkins. And that again comes to us from Screen Rant. All right. Number 1, you read that. This definitely sounds like an Aronofsky film. Mm-hmm. This is the type of angles he can take on stuff like this. Number 2, it sounds like the kind of story that it's easy to make a story about somebody who has it bad and it really wasn't their fault. They just got dealt a bad hand, and so we root for them. I tend myself to be a little bit more intrigued by these stories about people in a bad place and it's their own damn fault, and then trying to deal with that and figure that out. And the story about a man who finds himself in a circumstance in his life because of choices he made to abandon his daughter or whatever it was. I know as much about this movie as you guys know about it, just reading from that thing. But to me, it sounds fascinating. And it sounds like for the first time in a long time, that Brendan Fraser's being handed a role here that he could really sink his teeth into. Because it's been a while. Like, I love him in Doom Patrol and stuff like that, but that's not exactly a role he gets to take and, practice an Oscar acceptance speech in front of the mirror in the morning. This sounds like the kind of movie that maybe you could. And it's the type of role that maybe he hasn't had since, what's the one he did with Honors?
With Honors,
yeah. This sounds like the type of role that he hasn't really had since With Honors. And so this sounds amazing to me. I'm with you. I'm not going to say it's one of my most anticipated movies now, but I am now dying to see this. I can't wait. Chris, you hear the description of this, Aronofsky's Brendan Fraser. We got a glimpse of the image and stuff like that. Yeah. Is this appealing to you?
It is. It is. Like you were saying, it's really fascinating to watch this kind of character study, right? Of somebody who made the choices that they thought they had to make, or the best choices for them personally in the moment, and then dealing with the ramifications of that afterwards. To have Sadie Sink playing his daughter too is a huge, huge boom for this movie, because she is fantastic. So good in Stranger Things last season. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. And this is just him on fire right now, right? I mean, he's going to be in an upcoming Martin Scorsese film. Yep. He's going to be in Batgirl as Firefly. He's got a lot coming out. And I think that's really, really wonderful, because Brendan Fraser has had a really, really tough life as far as his Hollywood career has gone, with the, very, very personal things he's dealt with.
Yeah, which you can read about online if you want to.
And so it's just really, really nice to see somebody who I always just thought was so charismatic and magnetic on screen, no matter what his role was, to really be getting back in the driver's seat. That makes me really excited. And to have a director like Aronofsky back in him too, woo!
Yeah, it looks good. Anyway, Aaron, you had a chance you heard about the film. It's an Aronofsky working with Brendan Fraser. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, Darren Aronofsky is also, this is like the day of, it's like an Aaron's top 10 list of directors. He is absolutely, top 5 list actually. So, he is, every project that he's ever done has, whether it's from his small little indies at the beginning of his career all the way through, Black Swan, right? Yeah. He's just
so good. I love that movie.
He just has this magical way of taking, like you said, someone's personal choices and just sort of twisting them and turning them. And I think that the way that he's going to develop this storyline of how that guilt manifests itself, not just physically, but also personally with this character, are going to be very exciting. And, obviously not getting too much into it, but yes, speaking to what Brendan Fraser went through in Hollywood and why he took, why he was a recluse himself.
For so long, yeah.
Yes, the Me Too movement didn't just help tell stories of women who had had horrible things happen. It also told stories of men, whether it's Terry Crews or Anthony Edwards, and now Brendan Fraser, who 15 years later, finally there was an investigation into the allegations. And he has said, what happened to me in 2003 caused me to feel guilt and shame and to retreat. And so what I'm really excited about is to see how those things manifest in this performance. Because as actors, we all deal with trauma in our lives. As actors, we have this incredible gift of being able to take that trauma and use it to inform our characters. And this character, someone who is dealing with guilt and shame and being a recluse, those are all the things that Brendan Fraser said that he dealt with personally because of the trauma that was inflicted upon him. And I am so thrilled that finally we as a society have had the reckoning that allows people such as Brendan Fraser, who have had to step back, to be able to finally step forward again, be vindicated, and to reclaim not only their talent, but their place in Hollywood, because he's such a brilliant actor. And I'm just thrilled that he's having this resurgence. 100% he better be practicing that Oscar speech, because we don't know who will win, but we know that he's definitely going to be on the short list for nominations. And then when he does that Christian Bale, weight loss to get ready for, his turn in, what were you just saying?
Oh, he's in Batgirl.
In
Well, he's already
Batgirl, yeah,
I
as
found
this
that one
big
out.
villain in Back. I mean, this is going to be the decade of Brendan Fraser, and I am here for it.
Yeah.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Yep.
I hope this is as good as it sounds. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about the sounds of the whale? I think this thing sounds fascinating. Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. All right, guys. Before we get on to our next topic here, we're going to take a second and hear from another one of our sponsors, Ryan Reynolds and his company, Mint Mobile. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, Ryan Reynolds, and specifically his delightful company, Mint Mobile. So look, after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't a catch. And guys, this is no joke. I have been using Mint Mobile for months now. And on top of the fact that I'm spending literally about 1/3 every month of what I was spending on my former major carrier, I've discovered no decline in my service. I kept my phone number and I was able to keep my phone. The switch from my old service to Mint Mobile couldn't have been easier and saved me more money. And the best part for anybody who just hates their phone bills is that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. And thank you to Mint Mobile for not only making my phone bill like 1/3 the size of what it used to be, but for being a sponsor of this episode of the John Campea Show. All right, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. Chris, what is our third main topic today?
This one comes from the Geeky Gator. Entertainment Tonight just put out a featurette video of the upcoming She-Hulk show, and I feel like we just learned a lot more about the show than we have in the previous 2 trailers. They show the origin of her powers has been changed from the comics. Wong looks like he's fighting the creatures from Shang-Chi, a Power Ranger, and some guy that looks like he's using a version of the 10 Rings. Did you see the video, and what did you think of it?
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. And yeah, listen, we've been talking for a while. I am very excited about the She-Hulk show, and I don't care what anybody else says. I think it's going to be fun. And I said from the beginning, like, I'm not big on derivative characters. So when they announced it, I wasn't super excited. But I did say, long time ago, I said, you know what? I don't think they'll do this, but if they take the approach at She-Hulk of being a Marvel's version of Ally McBeal, and they take that approach, that could be really fun, and then I'd be interested. And then they put out the first trailer for it, and I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what they're doing. And at that point, I became completely on board. So then, of course, they dropped a new trailer. I thought it looked great, a lot of fun. But this new video that they just dropped by Entertainment Tonight gives us, I think, more looks, and I think you're right. I think it gives us kind of a better, clear picture of the show itself than the trailers themselves did. Starting with the big thing, which now in the comics, they've decided to deviate a bit from the comics because in the comics, she gets her powers because of a blood transfusion that she gets from her cousin Bruce. It's similar, but different. It looks like her and Bruce are in a car accident together and they're all banged up and cut up. And I guess his blood gets into her and that's how that happens. But the most fascinating thing about that shot, though, Bruce is in human form.
Yep.
Now, this has been a little confusing because, of course, in Avengers Endgame, I'm always in this form now. This is permanent form. But then at the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi, he's back in his human form. Then in all the trailers we see in She-Hulk, we only see him as Professor Hulk again. But now in this shot, we see that he is back in Bruce form. So the question that stands up is the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi confirmed that he can go back and forth between his Bruce form and his Hulk form now? Or are they saying that that car accident happened before the events of Endgame? And that's when she got his blood at that point. So I don't know which way they're going to go with that. I hope they're saying he can transform back and forth between Bruce and Professor Hulk. That would be great. And then you pointed out a couple of very interesting images, because you're right. The monsters we see, I don't know if we've got a shot of that, Jonathan, but we see Wong fighting these winged creatures, right? Or there's the Power Ranger. But we see Wong fighting these little winged creatures. And you're right. My first thought as well was, oh my God, they're the little demon creatures from Shang-Chi. It's like they're here. So what I did was I freeze framed that, and then I went over to Disney Plus and I went to the end of Shang-Chi, and they are different. Because the ones in Shang-Chi, while they do look very similar, the ones in Shang-Chi also have like 6 or 7 or 8 tentacles, right?
One of our chatters, Theme Park Horizon, says car accident happened after Endgame because of his arm cast.
Yeah.
Oh,
He still has the sling.
Yeah, he's in the sling.
Perfect observation. Perfect observation. So yes, clearly it happens after the events of Endgame. So he clearly can go back and forth between that. Thank you. I'm glad you noticed that. Sherlock here. We totally should have noticed that. So well pointed out. So yeah, there you go. It happens after the events of Endgame. So those creatures are not the creatures from Shang-Chi because the tentacles are missing and all that kind of stuff. But it does bring up an interesting question. It's like, okay, so now it's not just She-Hulk, the lawyer, dealing with the superhuman community now. There's like demonic supernatural influences going on here. Maybe more multiverse stuff or other dimensional creatures. Who knows? Green Power Ranger from another universe. I don't know what the deal is with that guy. What did you say, Ray, that he looks more like? I said he looks like a Power Ranger. You said he looked like, what did you say?
Oh, Kick-Ass.
Frogman.
Someone from Kick-Ass.
Oh yeah, he looked, yeah.
Frogman.
He's Frogman.
He's Frogman. Yeah, you're right. That looks like a
He's
Kick-Ass
Frogman.
costume. Not Kick-Ass himself, but that looks like a Kick-Ass costume. From that,
Gene
so
Palpatino.
who is it?
So in some of the Spider-Man comics, there's a character named Frogman who's got
Yes,
like this
yes.
little tum-tum and everything. But that's who I think that is.
Well,
Look
that
at
guy's
this
got a
little dude.
6-pack. That's no tum-tum.
Well, because
but
I mean, they have to make him a
he's
little sexier for Jennifer.
He's very
You know?
sexy.
Sexy for Jennifer.
That's a sexy frogman.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's that. And then near the end, again, feeling like a Shang-Chi movie in many ways, we see a character who, I'll be straight up, I don't know who it is. Asian actor with some like doing something like what you would be doing with the 10 rings, but it wasn't the rings. It looked like some kind of gauntlet or whatever. I'm not quite sure what that was, but he pulls that out. Again, a lot more Wong in it than I thought. Like I was kind of thinking Wong was going to pop up, do a cameo as he's been doing lately and
Right.
then leave. But it looks like maybe he has a more, I don't think he's going to be in all 9 episodes, but it looks like he has.
He's credited in all 9 episodes.
Do they credit him in all 9?
I mean, according to IMDb. But that doesn't necessarily mean it. He could have a contract of all episodes produced, but he's not. We don't actually see
But it
him.
lists him as
but
being
it
all
lists
9
him as
episodes?
all 9 episodes. So we're going to be seeing a lot of Wong. Are you ready for a lot of Wong? Because you're going to get it.
That is just-tastic. That is the best news I've heard today. I was just happy we're going to get a little bit. You guys know I love Benedict Wong in this franchise. You put more of him in it, the better. So that's great news to me. Anyway, I love this video footage. It was great to see. Interesting how they're changing some of the things up. Chris, you had a chance to see the footage. What stood out to you?
I mean, the origin story changing is fantastic. I think that's really, really great because we were going to start off on a much darker note if we went to her original origin story. We've touched on that in the show here. In the comics, she's shot. She's shot by a crime lord, basically by Trask, not the one who does the Sentinels, but a different Trask. Right. And so then she has to get that blood transfusion. So this kicks us off. A car accident isn't fun by any means, but it's a much less severe injury, right, than diving in that way. So I love that. The fact that Frogman is in this, or it possibly is in this, is bananas to me. Because what a weird character. He's clumsy. He's got coils in his feet. He's a neighborhood superhero. Why is he here? And does he need a lawyer? You know, I'm really excited to see that. And of course, give us all the Benedict Wong. Love him.
What did you think about the trailer here?
You know what? I have to say, the first trailer, I was a little on the fence about. It was maybe a little too Sex in the City for me. And I was a huge Sex in the City. I mean, we had Sex in the City Sundays. I was in it to win it. But I was just like, I'm just not really sure. I think I was just having trouble getting into the tone of it because it seemed like such a departure from the tone of so many of the other shows that some of the other Marvel shows. But now, especially after seeing Miss Marvel and the way that each show really has its own world that they're developing, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get on board with this. And this trailer really solidified that for me, of expanding on that world, showing her as a more fully fleshed out character versus just the sort of flat, why don't I have a boyfriend? And as you pointed out, that was me for, most of my 20s and 30s. So you're right. It's truth. But I also love that we are getting to see a little bit more of the supporting cast of this, whether it's, Wong or Jamila Jamil, which, speaking of which, hey, this is her episode of the John Campea Show, because she's also voicing a character in DC's Super
That's
Life,
right.
Secret Life of Super Life of Super
Pets?
Secret Life of Super Pets.
The League of Super Pets.
League of Super Pets.
The
Thank
Secret
you.
Life
Yeah.
of Super Pets. That's
Yes,
perfect.
so Jamila Jamil is also having a really standout year. It's just a fantastic cast, and I love that they also were including bits of the interviews with Kevin Feige and some of the directors and some of the producers, and really showing what all went into this. I'm much more excited about She-Hulk than I was before. And I also do like the idea of her, them kind of jumping in. It's a car crash. Okay, now we're telling the story. We're not going to spend too much time with a complicated, potentially convoluted backstory of how she became this. We're just going to go, okay, now she's She-Hulk, and we're moving on.
Yeah.
So I do like that.
Because reasons.
Yeah,
Because
but that doesn't
reasons.
matter. That's not the story we're telling moving forward. And I love how much we're seeing Hulk and hopefully more of Bruce as well. I'm a big Mark Ruffalo fan. I find his Hulk so endearing, and I really like that they're going to have that character much more involved than what I thought it was going to be, instead of also just a pop in, pop out, but like he's really we see him training her. I'm a big fan of that.
I wonder if we're going to see a round 2 of Hulk versus Abomination. And if they do, I'm not saying they are, but if they did in this show, I wonder if there will be a line from Emil of, you look different. Because of course, Ed Norton Jr. was playing the character when the last time these two
That
characters
totally
fought.
seems like the kind of thing they do in this.
It does kind of seem like, especially in a show that is completely open with the fourth wall breaking.
Yeah.
So I kind of hope they do. Anyway, Ray.
I just wanted to ask, do you see that as a good sign that Kevin Feige's in that video? Meaning maybe he had more of his hands in this. You said like he wanted to stay out of a lot of things now.
Well, it's not that he wants to stay out of things. It's just that with so many projects going on, he can no longer be directly involved with the shows more. So he has to be more hands off with a lot of them. It was encouraging to see him pop up in this, but again, it's just a promo piece.
Right.
So I mean, we don't know how involved he was in it. I hope it was a lot, but anyway, guys, question is for you. Did you have a chance to see this Entertainment Tonight featurette on She-Hulk? I thought it was great. What did you think about it? What do you think about them doing a little bit of a change in the origins of her powers? I think it makes sense and fits with what the show is. Maybe you have a different thought. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 4. Chris, what is our 4th main topic today?
This one's from Eric Dane. Hey, John and crew. With the announcement that Avengers 5 and 6 will come out in 2025, it got me wondering about who will be on the team when that happens. Like Rob said, right now, we really don't have a clear picture of who is or isn't on the Avengers. So if you had to guess what the team would look like when 2025 comes around, who do you think is there? Thanks.
All right. Thanks a lot for saying that in. And yeah, it is surprising how many people I've had emailing me about who's going to be in the Avengers. I mean, because Nick, you're right. Rob has pointed out several times. It's like, as of right now, we as the audience, not the people who live in the MCU, but we as the audience, we don't really have a clear picture of what is the Avengers right now. Clearly, there's still a thing in the MCU. They're having Avengers Con. They're always referencing the Avengers and all this kind of stuff. So the question is, when it comes time for these Avengers movies to happen, who's an Avenger? Who is in these movies? So I thought we would together, as a community, kind of brainstorm some ideas and see what we can come up with. So let me throw in a couple of automatics. Let's go over to the Campy Classroom for a second here.
I knew it.
We're going to throw in a couple of automatics. All right. Here's a couple of automatics that I have no doubt. Okay. Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel will definitely, I mean, there's even a good chance Captain Marvel may be the leader of the Avengers at that point. Now, when you go back to before the first Captain Marvel movie came out, Kevin Feige talked a lot about how she's the most powerful character in the MCU and she's going to play an incredibly vital part moving forward. And okay, we haven't really seen that yet. So maybe this is where it's going. Whether or not she'll be the leader of the Avengers, who knows? But I think definitely it's going to be Captain Marvel. I think the new Black Panther is going to be a part of the Avengers.
Yeah.
I think they're going to move quickly after Black Panther Wakanda Forever with whoever ends up being Black Panther by the end of that movie. Whether it's Shuri or Okoye or Nakia or whoever, I think it's whoever that is, they're going to really position that new person and plant them firmly in the MCU. And so I actually think the new Black Panther is going to be a member of that Avengers. Contrary to popular belief, I think Ant-Man is going to be part of it. A lot of people believe Ant-Man dies in Ant-Man in the Quantumania.
Paul Rudd's a vampire. You can't kill him.
I know you cannot kill Paul Rudd. You cannot kill, but there are a lot of people thinking that movie's going to end with him dead. I don't think so. And by the way, I should throw in here as well.
And Wasp.
And Wasp. Yeah, I don't think Wasp, but as a tribute to your shirt here today, Chris, I do think Wasp will probably still be there as well. Yep. That's a nice shirt.
Thank you.
And I think Captain America is going to be there. And I mean Sam. But I'm going to be the first one to throw this out here right now. Steve Rogers is going to be there. I'm just saying, I think Sam will still be carrying the shield, but I think Steve Rogers is going to be in the new Avengers movies.
God, Sam just never really gets to get his footing in there.
Oh, no. I mean, I think he will still carry the
Like
shield.
every time he tries to like be like, he's like, just kidding, I'm not dead. Ah.
No, I think I still think he'll still be carrying the shield. I think Sam will still have the moniker Captain America at that point, but I think Steve Rogers will be there.
Sam is the equivalent of me hosting on Fridays.
Yeah, yes. Just kidding. Get out of my chair.
I'm not really the host. I'm not really the host.
But I'm not going to put Steve. I'm not going to put Steve on the list. So when I say Captain America, I'm meaning Sam's Captain America. So I believe Sam obviously is going to be there as well. I do think Ms. Marvel is going to be on there. I mean, all you got to do is just look at the recent video games and stuff like that, right? So I think they are going to position her into that as well. Some people say, well, won't they be saving her for X-Men? Well, X-Men's not coming for a while. So I think Ms. Marvel will be a part of it. Shang-Chi will definitely, first of all, I would have guaranteed Shang-Chi was going to be on this Avengers team anyway. But once they announced that Destin, the director of Shang-Chi, is now directing the first Avengers movie, I think that makes it a no-brainer. Not to mention that, I mean, he's literally there at the end of Shang-Chi with Wong. And what is it Bruce says to him? Bruce says something like, welcome to the club or welcome to the circus.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah, so I think, Shang-Chi is definitely going to be.
Which means that my girl Aquafina is going to be there.
I don't think she's going to be on the Avengers.
She's going to lead the Avengers.
I don't think she's going to be an Avenger, but she is his buddy.
I think, she'll be
for
present.
sure
She'll show up and be like, you guys need a pep talk or like snacks.
But the question is, who will be an Avenger?
Oh, okay.
Who will be an Avenger? So I think, and listen, of course Thor is going to be on the Avengers. I mean, he's one of the OGs. There's an argument to be made that he'll actually be the leader of the Avengers at that point. But I'm still leaning more towards either Captain Marvel or Captain America. The one reason I don't think Cap will be leading the Avengers is because there will be some experienced Avengers on here. And I mean, Sam was Cap's sidekick for us. So I don't know if he'll be the leader, but it would also make sense. Military background, all that kind of stuff. So he could, either Captain America, Captain Marvel, whatever, one of the captains, or Thor himself will be in there as well. You know what I'm not saying? I'll erase this in a second, but I'm not saying Hulk.
Oh.
I don't think Hulk will be in there.
Why?
I have a feeling I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I think they're moving away from Hulk. And I think She-Hulk coming in. So I'm not saying Hulk. What I am saying is She-Hulk. I think She-Hulk will be in there.
And Frogman.
And and that goes without saying. And of course, Frogman.
Well, that's her boyfriend.
And I'll be honest with you. If they stick with Professor Hulk, I'm not interested in Hulk being on the Avengers. If they get back to Worldbreaker Hulk, the one that everybody's terrified of Bruce losing his temper, if they get back to that, then I want him in there. But we'll go on that. So right now I've got Captain Marvel, the new Black Panther, Ant-Man and Wasp, Captain America, Ms. Marvel, Shang-Chi, Thor, She-Hulk. We got some other names?
War Machine.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think we're getting to room capacity here. This will be the
Yeah.
biggest
Look
Avengers
at
group I've ever.
Infinity
Big
War and
old
Endgame.
lineup.
How many people came through the portals in Endgame?
Yeah, but half of them were Guardians of the Galaxy who aren't Avengers.
But they like for that though. So, but who's going to be on the Avengers team?
Right.
I think they're going to be all teaming up. They're just going to all be called the Avengers. I don't think. By the way, I don't think Guardians will be.
No.
Because James Gunn has said that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the last movie you're going to see that iteration of the Guardians. So I don't think we're going to see them on
What
it.
about Deadpool or Doctor Strange?
I think
Wong.
Doctor Strange.
He apparently has the power to get you on a lunchbox.
Yeah, Doctor Strange, definitely one. I don't think they're going to have Deadpool on the Avengers.
It'd be great.
I mean, but would it be great? Because it's
He's a little distracting.
such a contrasting style.
I
that
want him to just show up and then be like, you know what? This isn't for me.
Yes.
But I love this for you.
I
Yeah.
love what you guys
Bye.
are doing.
yeah. It's not really my game.
Just moonwalk out of there.
Yeah, I'm oddly enough, I'm not going to say Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Ray, you got any other names? I love your
Do
War
we
Machine.
still have Nick Fury? Is Nick Fury involved in anything?
Well, he's got two projects coming out. He's got the Marvels that he's in. He's got Secret Invasion that he's, I think, the star of.
Also, at the same time, was he ever considered an Avenger? He created.
Well, he's
created
kind of
group.
the
He
them.
put
he's the
group
de
together.
facto head of the Avengers.
Right.
I mean, so
Are we missing an obvious? Are we saying Spider-Man will not be in it?
I think Spider-Man absolutely will be.
okay, I was saving that one till
Oh,
later
sorry, I blew
Okay.
it.
because that's a good topic of debate about whether Spider-Man will be there or not.
Oh man, that's
Master
Ray,
Invaders
you don't.
assemble.
You're shaking your head. You don't think
The way
so.
they left No Way Home, I could see him not being in it. To be honest,
I mean,
and also, without
not
his
sure.
big bro Iron Man, I don't know if he's going to want. He's going to be like, it's just not the same.
Everyone remembers Spider-Man though.
Yeah.
And
They
they,
just
don't
don't remember
remember
Peter.
Peter Parker. So now are their memories of Spider-Man existing not tainted with, but it's a kid? They remember that somebody helped them who did a very efficient job.
That's true.
And actually went toe to toe with Captain America at one point.
Yeah, they just nobody knows he's Peter Parker, but they all remember Spider-Man.
ooh, who knows?
So I
probably
mean,
gonna be good.
I'm gonna leave Spider-Man off the list.
yeah.
I would too. It's one of those. Just I don't know. I just don't know.
I think that they're really trying to usher in a new era of Avengers. And, okay, but what about Wong?
Oh, Wong will 100%.
Because
be
I
in
mean,
there.
I think that's the
He's
reason.
kind of becoming the new Nick Fury, right?
Right. I think
involved.
that that's the reason why we keep seeing Wong popping up in everything is because they've really wanted to cement him as part of the world that we can just expect him to be there. And I'm for it.
And he is. Let's not
Yeah.
forget, he is the Sorcerer Supreme.
And he's kind of grouping people together right now as we speak,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, he's kind of
People are
taking over
meeting
some of
each
the
other
role
'cause of
of
him.
Nick Fury.
I would also add maybe not the entire teams, but members of Thunderbolts or members of Fantastic Four.
Well, okay, so that was another one we were going to get to. I
keep
don't
blowing it,
think
I'm sorry.
Thunderbolts will be in there. I don't think any of the Thunderbolts, but Fantastic Four. Now, a lot of people will say that Fantastic Four is their own group.
Yeah, yep.
True. So are the Guardians of the Galaxy. I believe you will see them fighting alongside of the Avengers. And again, in these big, epic, world-saving things, they're all Avengers. I
Yeah.
mean, when it comes to like Doctor Strange is not an Avenger.
Right.
But in context of Endgame and Infinity War, he's one of the Avengers. I mean, just for that. So I do think Fantastic Four will be in there as well. All right, is anybody in the live chat putting in so many ideas?
They were saying a bunch of stuff that
A lot of
I gave
Hawkeye.
out.
Daredevil.
Okay, well,
I
let's,
think
Yelena-
Monica
Rambeau?
lady, Rambo.
well, we didn't get to her yet, but let's talk about Monica Rambeau for a second. Yeah,
Moon Knight.
I'll say Photon, or who is Monica Rambeau put in there. Here's some interesting things that I'm not going to include. I do not think Moon Knight is an Avenger.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
that is
think
not
so
a
He's
either.
not, he's not
No,
an Avenger.
no.
No.
There's
no.
just
So
too
Moon
much
Knight,
drama.
no.
Bucky.
I don't think.
Daredevil.
Scarlet Witch.
Definitely not Scarlet Witch. Definitely not
Someone
Scarlet
wrote
Witch.
Cartman.
Yeah. I don't think.
Bucky Barnes, no, right?
You know what? Yes. Yeah. What are they going to call though? What was it? White Wolf?
White Wolf.
I'll say White Wolf will be in there. Yeah, I think Bucky will be there.
You know, and then we got
No
a bunch
Daredevil?
of like oddballs too. Like if they end up doing a young team, then of course no Kate Bishop or
Yeah.
no America Chavez.
Young
None
Avengers.
of them.
Well, let's bring the list back up again. This is an interesting one. I've gone back and forth on this, but you know what? I am going to put.
That's a lot of Avengers.
So many.
I am going to put.
This is like the credits of the movie.
Late
I know.
2002 NWO, right?
I am going to.
Well, as long as you walk through the curtains,
You're an NWO.
Someone wrote America Chavez,
Why would I put
Nova.
Hawk Key? Yeah, Hawkeye. I say yes, and I did not like the Hawkeye series, but I think this will be Jeremy Renner's swan song. I think this will be the end for Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye. I think Jeremy Renner. I do. Think
I mean, it
he'll
would be
in there.
such an obvious omission if they didn't include him when he was one of the OGs.
Well, yes, but they were kind of, the whole Hawkeye series was kind of a way of a passing of the bow, if you will, right? But
Morbius.
one of the things that I think this
Morbius.
list, like when you look at this huge list, like let's bring that up. Let's look at this list. One of the things that, yeah, you got Thor in there, and there you go. You almost need a little bit more veteran OG presence there because it can't be Black Widow. It can't be Tony. I kind of think Steve Rogers is going to be there, but I'm not going to guarantee that. So I don't know for sure.
The Kang Avengers movie. Could you see Loki as being inducted into the Avengers? Because they're really turning him into something different.
You know what? Considering that I think he has already dealt with Kang, I'm going to do it because there's still plenty of room on this boat. We're going to go
We're gonna have to make
Loki.
this into columns.
We got the penthouse.
Loki, what else are the people in the live chat saying? Keep an eye on there.
Knight.
Just-
Blade.
Morbius.
Blade will not be on it.
No.
No way. Blade,
Black
I don't think
Knight?
is going to be on it. What's
Howard
that?
the
Black
Duck.
Knight.
Black Knight. You know
Marcus
what? I'm
Pena
going to
said
guess
that. I like
Black
that.
Knight won't be. We don't have any, I think Black Knight will be in Blade, but I see Blade and Black Knight being more outliers. I don't think they're going to be part of that. So
Since
I
I
could be wrong.
haven't seen Thor 4 yet, I can't speak on Valkyrie. Some people are saying Valkyrie. I don't know.
We still
She's
have
a
White
king. She's
Vision
got
running
stuff to
around
do.
too.
I mean, I don't think White Vision will be part of the Avengers. I mean, White Vision's going to come back into play at some point.
Absolutely.
But I don't think some people suggest to me Agatha because we got the Agatha series, but I don't think.
I think we
Agatha-
need to see what happens in the Agatha theory.
Agatha
The
theory?
Agatha theory. The Agatha series before we can even speculate on Agatha being part of this.
This is a long ass list, though. This has become the polyphonic spree.
Yeah, I mean, this,
Like-
We should have been more specific and said, who are we going to see together in the
Like,
poster?
as the
in the
core
poster,
group.
In the poster.
well, no, because not even the Endgame poster had everybody on the poster, right?
But I'm telling you, this
When they
list-
all got together around the in the war room when they got together, who
Jonathan,
were
who
the
are you thinking?
Who's in the cocoon?
Adam Warlock?
Adam
Yeah.
Warlock?
he might be a
'Cause
villain. at
I'm
first.
saying
He's
him and
so
possibly
superpowered,
Hercules.
though.
Well, but so is Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
right? And so I mean, and we don't know how powered they're going to make him in the
That's
movies,
true.
right?
And we need a team that can go up against Kang. And a lot of these names on this list can't even.
well, I
even
mean,
touch
but how
them.
many names of the Avengers in Infinity War and Endgame could actually fight Thanos?
Right.
One or two
Right.
alone, right? So I mean, so there's that.
I could pull a Namor.
Oh
mean-
God,
He's got a
could
long
they do
story arc ahead of him.
Namor?
I hope they don't just make him a one and done villain. I mean,
A
he's got a story
pissed
arc.
off Namor? Okay, you know what? Hell with it. I'll put Namor on there.
That's fun.
Everybody. What
after-
about Cinnabon?
Avengers season.
Cinema. I like the Namor. Is the live check on any others that are thrown in there that you see?
Nova?
Eternals. A lot of people are saying
Nova.
Eternal.
Oh my God! I mean,
after seeing the
Eternals. How do you leave some of the
At least
Eternals
members
out?
of them.
after seeing the first episode of The Boys, I'm really feel like Ant-Man's powers are greater than we even
Realize that
yeah,
he can
like
do.
I think that he
crawl
can
up
do
in
a
King's
lot
butt.
more damage than we've previously seen.
All right, but I mean,
Are
Kevin
we leaving
Feige's
all the
future-
youngsters off this list?
What's
like
that?
Riri Williams. Are we leaving off
I'm
the
leaving. Yeah, I'm
youngsters?
leaving them off the list because we don't even have
Nova.
the remotest taste about how they're going to be used in this universe
Right.
yet. I mean, for all we know, Like the younger characters that are kind of be setting up in a farm league right now that post the new Avengers movies, that's going to be their time to really come into the forefront. I'm just speculating here. So right now I got 19. Let's bring up the list here. Here we go.
Big tip
We
for
got
the waitress.
Captain Marvel. We got the new Black Panther. We've got Ant-Man and the Wasp. Do we got the list up there, Jonathan?
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at it myself.
You're reading along. Captain Marvel, New Black Panther, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain America, Ms. Marvel, Shang-Chi, Thor, She-Hulk, War Machine, Doctor Strange, Nick Fury, Wong, Fantastic Four, Photon, White Wolf, Hawkeye, Loki, Namor.
I dare you to hand that list to any director, and they'll be like, "Nah."
And
nope.
they go. Now, again, some of these might be in there for 10 minutes. Some of them might be in there for a scene. Some of them are going to be some of the lead characters.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Okay, so let me ask you, Ray, I got a list of 19 right now. If there was one you would absolutely take off this list, who would you take off this list right now?
Absolutely, Doctor Strange.
Really?
I love the character, but he's in his own thing. I think this is gonna be like War Machine, Captain Marvel, Sam Wilson, and Ant-Man. Those, and maybe Thor. I'm not even sure Thor's gonna be in the Avengers.
But you would take Doctor Strange. That's interesting.
I'm taking War Machine off.
No, War Machine's got to be.
No, because I think something's going to happen.
because that.
Oh,
new Hot
like,
Toys-
yeah.
Oh.
By the way, we don't know when Iron Wars is dropping.
Nope.
Like, is Iron Wars going to be after those Avengers
Right.
movies? If it's after, I say War Machine will be there. If it's before, maybe I could see what he's saying, that maybe he dies in like
I
Armor
hope
Wars
not.
or something
Rhodey's
like
gone
that.
through so much.
And he has gone through a lot. He has gone through a lot.
Rhodey, I love you.
All right. Well,
Like
listen.
Captain America.
We could go on this. Somebody in the live chat is saying Shrek. Yes, Shrek.
Shrek is in there, yeah.
Big Hero 6 should be on there. Some people are saying Echo. I don't see it.
Nah, that power
She would be
set.
more in the young Avengers. I still think there's gonna be a younger team down the line. I was hoping it would be sooner because I could see them being more vulnerable.
Of course, by
to losing.
2026, they're all going to be, getting ready to retire.
No, because I want a team that can actually lose for a movie, like lose bad. And I see a young
well,
Avengers.
what
team
about
losing.
Infinity War? They lost.
Yeah, but I
And
mean,
lost bad.
Okay, right, true.
I mean, I don't know that you can lose much worse than they lost in Infinity
We
War.
didn't-
I don't see Thor being the leader of the Avengers.
Maybe not the lead.
Thor has a lot of great things, but I think that his executive skills are a little lacking.
I don't
That's
know.
fair. I think our captains are going to go against each other.
Yeah,
and
just
they're
because
gonna
he's a
butt
god
heads.
doesn't
Yeah.
mean he can, be a leader.
Maybe
But-
he'll show up with Hercules. I think they're going to settle their differences in whatever is happening.
And it's easier to name the Thunderbolts than it is these Avengers, these next Avengers.
All
I
right.
think.
Well, listen, we could go on this
Yeah.
all day. I mean,
Let's
some
do
of the more, it's going to be a controversial one that I'm leaving Spider-Man off. And listen, it is very possible that Spider-Man could be in there. Absolutely. I'm just saying, with the way things are right now, I'm not so sure Sony's going to let Spider-Man be in the Avengers.
Yeah.
And that's just, we'll find out. We will find out. So for now, guys, that's the list. It's a big list. Maybe some names should be on there. Maybe you're thinking 10 more need to be on there. What do you guys think? Do me a favor, guys. Do this for me. Down in the comments, let me know two things. Number one, who would you take off the list as we currently have it? Number two, who would you add to the list that we currently don't have there, that you think legitimately have a shot of being in these Avengers movies? I'd love to hear your thoughts. A lot of speculation and a lot of time to do it. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section there and leave your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, we are now going to take a second and thank another sponsor of our show today, the wonderful folks doing great work over at BetterHelp. Hey guys, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of this video, BetterHelp. You know, in the age of social media, you might think that everybody's life except yours is perfect because everybody always posts the best memories, the most glamorous shots. But you and I both know that's not how life is. We get pitched some serious curveballs, and sometimes it seems like a lot of them. And you know, we always encourage each other to get out there and to get into better physical health, going to the gym and eating right. But it's about time we started paying more attention to our mental health as well. And that's where our friends at BetterHelp come in. Because see, BetterHelp is not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It is professional therapy done securely online, available to people worldwide. You can log onto your account anytime and send private messages to your therapist, or you can schedule weekly or phone-only sessions if you're one of those people that's not really comfortable being on camera. And getting therapy every week is as easy as just a few clicks on your laptop or phone. It is time to invest in your own mental health, and BetterHelp is a great way to invest in yourself. And right now, they have a special offer for all of the John Campea Show listeners to get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Campea. That's 10% off your first month of online therapy at betterhelp.com/Campea. And a big thank you to BetterHelp, not just for sponsoring this episode, but for doing the good work that they're doing. Guys, don't forget to look down to our sponsors, their links, and the promo codes. All of them are down in the description of this video right near the top. Go and check them out, because when you do, you're not just supporting our sponsors, you're actually supporting us on the show as well. So thank you again to all of our sponsors. All right, that down, let's get into main topic number 5. Chris, what is our 5th main topic today?
This comes from Yelena G. Big fan of the show.
Thank you.
Today, this morning, as I'm in Europe, I saw a clip of John Krasinski on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon talking about his reunion with Steve Carell, but more importantly, about his Reed Richards cameo in Multiverse of Madness. He didn't answer any questions about being in the Fantastic Four, but at some point in the video, he said, "That's why I did Fantastic Four." Now, it seems like it was part of a joke, but do you think, judging by this interview, that he's giving off "I'm actually Reed Richards but cannot say" vibes?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. And of course, one of the big questions that's been revolving for a long time has been, John Krasinski as Reed Richards. And then Kevin Feige decided that we want to give everybody, Sam Raimi said that, they said, you know what, because this is multiverse, we can give them that, which started the speculation that maybe that means he's not going to be our Reed Richards moving forward and all that kind of stuff. And I've got my own thoughts on that, which we'll talk about in a second. But ever since, especially Doctor Strange, the questions have intensified. Is John Krasinski going to be Reed Richards? And they've been very, very quiet about it. So quiet that they've been excluding Reed Richards stuff from the various promotional and marketing pieces for Doctor Strange home video, when they've been highlighting all the other Illuminati, all of them, except for Reed Richards, which makes it seem like they're sitting on something. Maybe, maybe not. Now, last night, John Krasinski was on The Tonight Show. And of course, one of the very first things they talked about was him as Reed Richards. Now, this is what they said. They said this. Fallon asked, Comic-Con, they just announced all these new movies, and they announced that there's going to be a new Fantastic Four movie. Krasinski. Yes. Fallon, you're not allowed to say anything? Krasinski. Nope. Fallon, I'm not allowed to really ask you. Krasinski. That's right. Fallon, but you think? You think? Krasinski. Do you think? Fallon, do you think? Could one think? Krasinski, seriously, what have you heard? I need to know. Fallon, they don't tell you anything? Krasinski, they don't tell you anything. Fallon, not until right before you're about to shoot. And Krasinski says, that's right. Now then, he goes on to talk about the fact that Fallon asked, there have been a lot of rumors that your wife, Emily Blunt, is going to be Sue Storm. How about that? And he says, do you think? And Krasinski says, Jimmy, I'm going to tell you on your show, and then he pretended he got shot.
Yeah.
He said, Marvel's got all these guys around me and blah, blah. But they went into quite a lot of detail talking about the fact that, Fantastic Four, they really talked about it a bunch. And then later, when they're talking about another movie that Krasinski is working on right now with Ryan Reynolds and Steve Carell, they started talking about maybe even being a supervillain. Says, well, that's why I did Fantastic Four. And then they kind of glossed over that and then just went on and talked with other stuff. So I, of course, because we as movie fans, boy, do we love to look for the slightest little sliver of something. We all do it. We absolutely do. But my inbox got inundated last night with, John, did Krasinski just let it slip that he's in Fantastic Four? All right. Here's my thoughts on this. I do not know, nor would I put money on it, but in basic terms, do I believe John Krasinski is going to be Reed Richards? I do. I believe that. I wouldn't put $100 on it, Like, I don't feel super confident about it. But if you had to put me on the spot and say, John, do you believe basically that he's going to be Reed Richards? I do. The fact that they've been like hiding all the Reed Richards stuff when all the other Illuminati are there, the fact that they made no casting announcements or anything, even though this movie is supposed to come out, I believe, at the beginning of 2024 or in the first half of 2024, like they've made no announcements. And my belief that at D23, whereas Marvel held back most of the big, they released some great stuff at Comic-Con, but they held back the big bombs. Other than Kang Dynasty, that was the one big bomb they gave. But I believe at D23, they're going to drop bombs. And I think maybe the biggest one of them all is Kevin Feige said, we've got the cast of Fantastic Four playing Ben Grimm, whoever, playing Johnny Storm, whoever, playing Reed Richards, John Krasinski, and everybody loses their minds. So is that what happened at the Tonight Show last night? Did John Krasinski actually reveal that that's happening? Well, I would say this. I'd say, I think it is a little telling that they're specifically talking about it. And he's saying, I can't say anything. I mean, if he's just simply not a part of it, why not just say, I'm not in it? And then we can all go, we don't believe you. But still, why not just at least say, no, I'm not in it? The fact says, nope, I can't say anything. The fact that he's even joking that the Marvel people are still watching him, all that kind of stuff. Why keep it a secret that you're not in it? That doesn't prove anything. It's just an interesting question that pops in my mind. If you're not in it, why keep it a secret? At any rate, the Fantastic Four name drop. I think it was just a brain glitch, really. I think what he clearly meant to say was, that's why I did Doctor Strange. I think that's what he meant to say. But I will say, it is interesting that maybe it was a bit of a Freudian slip, but also when he said Fantastic Four, why not instantly go, guys, sorry, I meant Doctor Strange. Instead, their approach was, just keep going. Just keep going. Don't draw attention to the fact that I just, again, look, did last night definitively say that John Krasinski is clearly just let it slip that he's going to be in Fantastic Four? No, it did not. But was there enough there that I still believe he will be? I do. Again, D23 comes and they announce somebody else as Reed Richards. I'm not going to fall out of my chair. I'm not going to be, oh my gosh, I'm stunned it's not him. I'm not going to do that. But I still kind of believe. Anyway, Chris, you watched the Fallon footage. Mm-hmm. You saw the interaction, all that kind of stuff. First of all, how great is John Krasinski? But
love him.
What do you think? Did his performance on the Tonight Show last night make you believe more that he's going to be Reed Richards, less that he's going to be Reed Richards, nothing at all? What did you think?
Well, John, as I've said many times when it comes to the MCU, I trust and love no one. And if it looks like a Garfield, walks like a Garfield, and talks like a Garfield, I think you're pulling an Andrew Garfield on me.
Right.
I think you're being a little sneaky mother effer. So I do think that he is in this. I think that it was probably a little whoopsie doodle moment of, and that's why I was Reed Richards, is what was meant to come out. If he had been on Colbert, Steven would have been like, wait, let's back that up. What did you just say to me? Do you want to? Mm-hmm. But I do think that he is going to be Reed Richards. Now, will that change how excited I am about the Fantastic Four film? No. Whoever they cast as Reed Richards, I believe, will be a great Reed Richards.
Absolutely.
No matter who it is or what variant it is. Fan casting has had Roel Cowley from Midnight Mass and from iZombie, who I think would be an excellent Reed Richards. There's a ton of other actors who could do it. But it feels like it's going to be this guy right here.
Aaron, you saw this stuff. You're hearing all this stuff. Did anything that happened last night move the needle for you about he's not going to be it, he is going to be it, or you still just don't care?
Well, first of all, he's it. I mean, I don't have any inside information. I know nothing. But again, as you were saying, if it's not him, we've seen when actors go, listen, I love all the talk. It would be awesome if it were me. I promise you, I'm not doing it. They just shut it down. Number one, because they don't want, they want to talk about something that they are doing. And John Krasinski has enough things to promote in his illustrious career that he doesn't need to promote something that he's not getting paid for. Number one, he doesn't need to add to that speculation. Number two, every time he kind of goes, I don't know, and is kind of cheeky, whoever the actor who is playing Reed Richards is like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why are you getting people to continue?
Why you continue to string people along? This is just going to make them disappointed when they announce me.
Exactly. So I think that, like, as you know, just as out of actor courtesy, he's not doing. Now, if they were still like not sure if he was maybe in the top 3, if they were still in the casting process, he might be cheeky about it because he would want to get some, public momentum and show Marvel, hey, people really want to see me as Reed Richards. But the casting is done. Like, someone is already Reed Richards. And if it's not John Krasinski, he would be a massive Richard, if you know what that means, to try to insinuate that he were. And we all know that he's like the nicest guy in Hollywood. Now, as far as whether or not that was a slip, my idea 3 minutes ago was, no, John Krasinski is a seasoned veteran. He does not make slips in interviews. And then I went to YouTube to try to look at the clip. Video unavailable. Oops. NBC's pulled that little clip from Jimmy Fallon. It's not available.
Really?
I'm sure it's available somewhere, but the first one that pops up, John Krasinski teases his return of Mr. Fantastic in the MCU and Jimmy Fallon. Yeah, video unavailable.
Wow.
So,
I mean, that could just be a copyright thing.
Right.
Unless the YouTube channel itself was NBC and their YouTube channel says anyway.
But that kind of makes me go, maybe it was a little slip of the tongue and they're trying to pull it back. The bottom line is I agree with what you're saying. I think that
Chris looks amazed.
What happened? Just happened. What?
Sorry.
It looks like your brain just broke.
Yeah, because Jason Frost in the chat was like, hey, Chris, what if they made Krasinski Dr. Doom? And then I had an aneurysm.
Wait. Hold up.
I'm so sorry I interrupted you with my
No, because that is actually a game-changing moment. Because
that would be fascinating.
And that's the thing.
I don't think they're doing that, but oh my God, that would be fascinating.
But that's the thing is, it's like,
Doom is in the
I can't
Avengers.
say anything because
Doom is in the Avengers. Bring back up the list.
Yeah.
Add Dr. Doom in the Avengers.
So yes, I think that all will be revealed at D23, but I think that this is just a lot of Marvel foreplay, and that way we can all have, the big O at D23 when he comes out on stage.
When they give us the read.
When they finally
read.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Can I just
I'm
say,
not touching
Aaron,
that.
When you said he's total Richard, it reminded me of my friend's old punk band called William the Richard Head.
Richard.
I love that.
All right, guys. Question is for you. Did you have a chance to see that footage of Krasinski on Fallon last night? Did any of that move the needle for you? Maybe it's like, you know what, I saw it made me less believe that he's going to be Reed Richards, or maybe it made you more believe it, or maybe it didn't do anything. Maybe he's Dr. Doom. Whatever you guys think about it, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. Okay, guys. With that down, I told you we had a busy day today. Let's move on to main topic. I don't think we've ever done this. Main topic number 6.
Whoa.
Let's move on to main
I
topic
don't think
number
the
6
Indians
here.
can take it.
Chris, what is our 6th main topic today?
So this is from Schnip. So Cavill at San Diego Comic-Con was a bust, but I just rewatched the video of The Rock addressing the crowd at San Diego Comic-Con about Superman, and I couldn't help but notice a cryptic smile on his face, especially when he said, "It all depends on who's playing Superman." Call me crazy, but I'm thinking Cavill's Superman might show up in the final trailer for Black Adam, or maybe at the end of the movie, setting up a brawl between the two in the sequel. What do you think? Maybe I'm just looking too much into this, but I want it, damn it.
All right, thank you, Schnip. And listen, there are world peace, equality for all, Henry Cavill back as Superman. These are the 3 things I desire most in this world and in this life. And, going into, I thought for a long time, I mean, again, I said, I don't know that it's going to happen and I have no insider information, but I believed that, you know what? I think Henry's going to come out at Comic-Con. I think that at that moment, a nuclear explosion of fandom wave will go across the world. DC will win Comic-Con with that. It's going to be amazing and blah, 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 blah. And of course, that didn't happen. It didn't happen. Now, oh boy, here he comes. And there is nothing else that I would have wanted more. There was nothing else I wanted more at Comic-Con than Henry Cavill to come out and have them announce that, he's going to be in Black Adam and that Cavill and The Rock would fight. And of course, they have the same manager, all that kind of stuff, blah, blah, but it did not happen. Didn't happen. So I was disappointed. But then some reports started swirling around. some people pointing to exactly what you were just pointing out, that, hey, the way that The Rock handled the Superman thing, it's, well, it all depends who's playing Superman. The fact that we still don't know who Black Adam is ultimately fighting in that movie, all that kind of stuff. But then the big thing came out, and that was this. That has now been publicly announced that Henry Cavill has come down with COVID. And they've shut down the production on The Witcher for now, and all that kind of stuff. That sparked a number of reports going around saying that Henry Cavill was supposed to be at Comic-Con, but couldn't go because of the COVID diagnosis. And instead of just announcing it without him there, that Warner Brothers chose to wait until they could announce it with Henry Cavill actually there with wherever they make the announcement. To which, of course, that gave a little glimmer of warmth to my soul that maybe, just maybe,
baby.
that he could still be in this thing. However, I don't believe that's the case. First of all, the report about him getting COVID, I believe they said the diagnosis he got the diagnosis on either the 25th or the 24th, which would have been after the DC panel anyway. So I don't believe, unless the reporting is incorrect, he didn't even know he had COVID until after the panel was done anyway. So I don't know, maybe the reporting is incorrect and he actually got his diagnosis earlier than that, maybe. But here's the big thing to me that makes me kind of believe, yeah, it's probably not, because the director of the film, Jaume Colette Serra, was talking about it the day of the panel or the day before the panel. And he made this comment that has kind of made me believe that he's not there. This is what he said. Their movie is an original story. By the time the movie Black Adam ends, Black Adam doesn't know who Shazam or Superman is. He's figuring that out, that the world is filled with superheroes. He has to adapt to why he's here and what the world is about. So the director of Black Adam is saying, hey, by the end of this movie, he still doesn't even know about Shazam or Superman. This isn't like one of those classic Hollywood denials of, no, we don't have Superman in this movie. He's actually talking about the story of the movie. And he says, by the end of this movie, Black Adam doesn't know who Shazam is, doesn't know who Superman is, all that kind of stuff. And so the two things, number one, the fact that the reports are saying that Cavill got diagnosed with COVID after the DC panel, and the fact that the director is saying, yeah, by the end of this movie, he still doesn't even know who Superman is, when they weren't specifically talking about Superman anyway, that has led me to believe that my hopes and my dreams have been dashed. That no, Henry Cavill will not be in this movie. Again, I no inside information. Maybe he still does pop up in this. But I have gone back and forth on this, and now I think it kind of looks like he's not there. Maybe it's just time for me to move on to the stage of acceptance. And just accept the fact that Henry ain't Superman anymore. I don't know. Chris, you hear all this information. You saw the report saying, oh, he only wasn't there because of COVID. I don't know. What do you believe at this point?
I mean, when you have COVID, you can still use Zoom.
Well,
look,
that's different, though.
WB has a problem right now. They do, whether they want to face it or not, have an image problem. So much so that they didn't show the face of the Flash in their Shazam trailer.
That's
all right? We also have a whole bunch of drama surrounding Aquaman. So if you want to take away from some of that scandal, baby, give him the good boy Henry Cavill. Have him get on the big screen saying, I wish I could have been there. You guys have got COVID, but nothing could keep me from telling you all that I am coming back as the Man of Steel himself, squaring off against Black Adam. They could have done that.
It would have altered the entire course of Comic-Con. I mean, it just would have, that would have been it. That would have been the moment.
So that's what leads me to believe that even if he did have COVID, I don't think he's going to be Superman. I think he would have put in some announcer. They would have done something. Maybe they do want to wait till he can do it in person. Maybe that's happening. But for me, they would have made some kind of announcement at the first big Comic-Con back.
Aaron, what do you think?
Yeah, I disagree respectfully because I just feel like this is a.
It's on.
Let's go.
I would not fight her. She would beat me up. She's a scrapper. I really think that's an in-person announcement, especially because the there's always that thing of when someone comes out, we've seen all the videos, whether you've gone to Comic-Con and been in Hall H yourself, or you have just heard about, we've all heard about it if we haven't been there directly in person, that moment where, Iron Man comes out on stage, where Natalie Portman comes out on stage, and everybody just
Mahershala Ali comes out stage. We're doing Blade, everybody. Mahershala Ali,
Yeah, and I just feel like for something that big, Zoom ain't gonna be the way to do it. A video just doesn't. I mean, we've seen that at CinemaCon. The first year that I went to CinemaCon and saw someone pops up on the video, and you're like, oh yeah, that's okay, that's The Rock. Very different experience than when The Rock comes out wearing a fishnet shirt, and everybody's just like grabbing it in.
For those of you who know what Aaron's talking about, so at the most recent CinemaCon, they were talking a little bit about Black Adam, and it started with, we got a special message, a word from Dwayne the star of the movie, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And people were like, oh, cool, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is sending us a video. And then what they then realized was that the video was fake. He goes, we can't do this anymore. And he gets up from the chair in the video, and he walks out of a room, and then he walks out on stage. And the energy difference between everybody in the room going, oh, cool, Dwayne Johnson's sending us a video message, to, oh my God, Dwayne Johnson's here in his fishnet shirt.
Yeah, red comment. I wasn't fantasizing. He legitimately was wearing a fishnet t-shirt.
Which
I
led
think
to
that's just what
fantasizing.
happens to fabric that he wears.
Yeah.
Just can't hold him in. Just woof.
He's a big boy. Yeah. And so there is that palpable feeling. And if I were running the show, logistics, boots on the ground, I'd be like, you know what? It's just not going to have the same fervor. It's not going to be the earth-shattering moment that we feel like it can be. And so let's hold off on that. And also, Jonathan, do you mind pulling up the quote from the director again real quick? Because I just want to make sure that I'm getting word perfect on this. He doesn't know who Shazam or Superman is. He should have said R just grammatically. But that doesn't mean they're not there. Just because he doesn't know when Superman shows up, oh, you're Superman. He could be like...
So you think he's implying it's not that he hasn't heard of them, it's that he doesn't know who their identity is? You think he's being more specific?
I think Superman shows up and Black Adam is like, who the fuck are you?
Oh, I like that.
Okay, that's a possibility.
And that could be that final moment, or like the end post-credit scene. Clearly, by the end of the movie, they haven't teamed up but that doesn't mean that we don't see him.
All right. Ray, listen, put it all on the line right now. Big hot toy bet here. Is Henry Cavill in this movie? Because I as much as I'd love to believe it, I'm starting to think not. We got some disagreement up here. Is he going to be in the movie?
They don't have a big event coming up like D23. No, he's not. Sorry.
Yeah,
I wish he was, but no. It's just,
that's the other thing. If they had, first of all, I don't even know if are they doing a DC fandom again this year? I haven't heard. Last year's was a disaster.
and also it's like with the way this year's Comic-Con was, with The Rock being there, you would think, if this COVID news isn't true, you would think he would at least come down for just that part.
Yeah.
Get everyone off their seats.
But then
everyone
why
excited.
is The Rock talking about beating up Superman and magic beats,
I think because eventually
he's
will
talking
come
a lot
to a
about
head.
it.
They will come to a head, but it might not be Cavill Superman.
But also it also could be a great moment where they don't say anything at all. And then at the end of the movie, we're all, amped up going, oh my God, he's back. Like they could be just waiting until the movie comes out.
Okay, so here we go. Picture, if you will. Here's the shot. There's this big fight happens. The movie ends. Black Adam and everybody's happy and blah blah blah. Then, in a post credit, the title comes up 1 week earlier, and you see, but from a distance, that final big fight that's going on. And then the camera turns, and floating in the sky, watching that big fight go on, all you see is the chest emblem, just like kind of the end of Shazam, where all you saw was the chest, right? And then you hear bum 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 bum, bum or
So
something
this is
that.
like a Chekhov's gun thing. We see it twice, and so in the third one, we're like, there it is.
There it is. Again,
There's a Henry.
I don't think it's
And
going
we
to
do
happen
a full
now.
video on
Nice
why that was
reference,
Henry
by the way.
Cavill.
And then we do a full series of videos on why that was Henry Cavill. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Now that all this information is, he didn't end up being there. Some people saying now it was because of COVID. What are you believing at this point? Do you believe, actually, Ray, can you put a poll up? Do you know how to put a poll up in the live chat there? I will put up a poll right now.
Will pull up the poll.
Let me see. Let's see if I can get the poll put in here.
You pull the poll.
Will Henry Cavill be in Black Adam? I mean, with all the stuff, with all the questions, for those of you guys watching live, I just put up a poll. I'm asking you guys, now that we know all this, I'm now leaning towards no, despite everything that what my heart wants. And I'm asking you guys in the live chat, the question just went up. Will Henry Cavill be in the new Black Adam? And right now we've had 600 people vote, and 65% are now saying no.
Ooh.
35% are still saying yes. So, I mean, we will see how all that goes. All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Do you think Cavill's going to be in it now that we know much more than we knew before? Whatever you think, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys. Now we are going to move on to the live questions part of the show. We're going to take your live comments and questions, guys. And so we are opening up the super chat. So if you guys have a thought, theory, comment, question, whatever, get ready to fire those in. Remember, we only keep it open for a few minutes, so try to get them in there quick. I would advise against putting in 2, 3, 4 part questions because it's very difficult for us to get to those. But hey, if you want to take a shot at it, feel free. Fire those in now. But before we get to those live questions, we want to thank the final sponsor of today's episode of the John Campea Show. I'm wearing them right now. They make the nether regions feel so cozy. Our friends over at MeUndies. Hey guys, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of this episode, MeUndies. Now, you guys have heard us talk about MeUndies, the legendary underwear brand that has totally taken over the podcasting world. And guys, I've been wearing MeUndies for the last couple of months, and I can honestly tell you it changes your day when you start off your day by putting on a pair of the most comfortable underwear you've ever worn, knowing that you're going to be walking in comfort all day in MeUndies. Everyone knows MeUndies for their super soft undies and comfy bralettes, but did you know that they make other stuff too? We're talking durable, cushy socks that will make your feet sing. We're talking super stretchy loungewear. We're talking daily tees, shorts, and rompers that add a little silky softness to your everyday. They even make hoodies for your dog so you can match every important person in your life. Available in sizes of extra small to 4XL and tons of colors and prints, make MeUndies your destination for all things soft and sustainable. MeUndies has a great offer for John Campea Show listeners. For any first-time purchasers, you get 20% off plus free shipping and returns. To get 20% off your first order, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/Campea. That's MeUndies.com/Campea. And thank you to our friends at MeUndies for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Okay, guys, with that down, let's now get over and start taking your live comments and questions. First, we'll start off with our channel members. Ray, we got any from the channel members?
We got a couple. Dustin Evans writes, been a fan since my brother showed me the movie blog. Love you, John.
Oh, wow. That's OG. Like, a lot of people have been watching, like, since your Claire days, AMC days, some even as far back as For Your Consideration. But going back to the movie blog days, man, that's something. Thanks so much for being here, man. Appreciate that.
Okay.
All right, what's next?
Mark Hansen writes, happy 100th birthday to the great Norman Lear.
I saw
wow.
that. Yeah, I saw that today.
His shows dominated TV at our house growing up.
Yeah, I mean, first a century. Like, that's amazing. Good on you for pointing that out, man. All right, what's next?
Edgar Ramos writes, good morning, crew. Thanks for being a part of my weekend mornings. My pup, Obi-Wan, and I watch you most days. His second B-day is next month. He is my super pet. Keep doing what you're doing. Bring on the filthy.
Well, thank you for allowing us to be a part. You know, it's funny. Some good friends of ours, our friends, you guys, I just mentioned For Your Consideration. Guy used to be a co-host with me on that. Our friend Matt was on that show with us. And Matt and Jay Lynn, they have a little boy. They had a baby son, and they named him Obi, after Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Wow.
Yeah, which automatically makes them the greatest parents in the world. So, I mean, yeah, that's, I mean, no, seriously. So that's great. So thank you for being along with us. All right, what's
Our
next?
friend Call Me Ish, Mr. Cookie Man says, so John, is Peacock still a stupid name? You guys are killing it. I see cookies in your future. Ray, you're the man. Congrats, Aaron. Miss your energy. Stay filthy, Campea
All right.
crew.
First of all, is Peacock still a stupid name? Now, you got to remember that Peacock is now a sponsor of the John Campea Show. Yes, it is still a stupid name. I really like the service. I've been talking about that a lot. It's like, damn it. Like, we've been talking about it for months. Like, man, Peacock has really been killing. I really like the shows on it, blah, blah, blah. I find myself on it more than most services. But make no mistake, it's still a bad name for the service. It really is. I still don't like, I wish they changed the name. But at this point,
Yeah.
Now you can't change the name.
Of
now,
course.
right? Because now it's established its brand identity. I do think they should have started with a different name, but they didn't. So they're here out. But hey, the most important thing is that it is a great streaming service, and I really love it. All right, what's next?
Mr. Hank Dunn writes, I believe Zaslav will have fandom be nothing but swings this year, and I'll bet a hot toy that a new Justice League movie will be announced with a director.
At what?
And fandom.
Oh, at Fandom?
Yep.
I don't even know if there is a Fandom.
He's saying Zaslav is going to make sure there's going to be a fandom, and a new Justice League movie will be announced with a director.
Maybe, but here's the thing. You can't make an announcement like that when everything looks so uncertain.
And plus, Flash is coming on. You can't. They
don't even know what they're doing with Flash yet.
Yeah, it would have to be after all their movies that they have planned done.
Yeah, I think you got to establish some goodwill first. Now, look, we have read reports that Zaslav is 100% committed to putting Flash out in theaters. That's going to be theatrical, period. We have all read the reports that, you know what? This movie is actually pretty good. They're going to have to find a way to deal with the PR nightmare that is known as Ezra Miller. They're going to have to find a way to work around that. But you know what we always say in this business, right? Winning cures everything. If the movie is really good, a lot of people will temporarily go, okay, you know what? We'll deal with Ezra's there.
They're going to just continue ignoring it.
Yeah.
That's how they are dealing with it now. That's how they're going to continue dealing with it.
And
They're
then
just
when
gonna be
this
like,
movie
"I
is
see
done,
nothing."
they will recast the role of Flash. But until then, they're just going to ignore it. But it's going to be interesting to see how that all unravels. All right, what's next?
Okay, low-key auto sales. This is probably referring to our Avengers list.
Auto
They
sales.
say, what about America Chavez? Love you all. Keep up the amazing work.
I think America Chavez is a character that's going to come more into her own after those Avengers movies.
Right.
It's a great name to bring up, but I do think they're going to save her for a little bit later.
Okay, last one is from Spencer Smothers. He says, so I think it's safe to assume we will get the entire movie lineup of the MCU for Phase 5 and 6 at D23. So do we learn about Spider-Man's future in the MCU at D23? I can't imagine we will go all the way to 2026 without a Spider-Man movie.
Okay, so here's the thing. Yes, by the time D23 is done, we are going to know the full lineup. And I think there's going to be some big bombs. I think there's going to be that go beyond Fantastic Four. The reality is Marvel doesn't control Spider-Man. Marvel has no say in what happens with Spider-Man. It's really all about what is Sony wanting to do with Spider-Man. Does Sony re-up the deal with Marvel? I kind of hope they do. But if they don't, I'm actually kind of excited to see what they can do with Again, to me, Spider-Man, Sony has made the worst Spider-Man movies, but they have also made the two best Spider-Man movies. Marvel has never made a Spider-Man movie as good as Into the Spider-Verse or Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. They just haven't. They've also never made a Spider-Man movie as bad as Spider-Man 3 or The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So it kind of balances itself out a little bit. So listen, I'm very excited for either. I'm very excited to hear Sony's going to, they re-sign up with Tom. I almost said Hiddleston. They re-sign up with Tom
Holland.
There's so many Tom H's. Tom Hardy, Tom Hiddleston, anyway, they re-sign up with him and they move forward and they make their own Spider-Man movies. I'd be excited for that. I'd also be very excited to hear that they re-up the deal. The partnership between Sony and Marvel has worked. So it'd be good to see that continue as well. I don't think we're going to find out, though, by D23 about what's going on with Spider-Man, because I'm not 100% sure, and I mean that honestly. I don't know that Sony and Marvel have worked out their situation yet. And if they don't have it worked out, then they certainly can't make any announcements. So I don't know. Maybe we'll keep our fingers crossed. That would be great. All right. With that down, guys, let's get over to the super chats here. So, Chris, what do we got in there?
So, some support from My Comic Planet. Thank you so much.
My Comic Planet.
King Tate. Spider-Man has another MCU movie to appear in from last contract, maybe saving for one of the Avengers.
Here's the problem with that, though. Everybody keeps running around with this one piece of information. These contracts are 700 pages long, and there could be 500 caveats that say, okay, there's another appearance, but that could be canceled out by this. So don't count on that. Is it possible? Absolutely. But I've seen far too many fans say, well, we know for a fact that no, we don't, because that may have been in the deal, but there could also have been 50 other triggers that cancels that out that we just don't know about. So I'm just saying, don't be so certain about it. All right, what's next?
From Andy, one of two.
Good luck.
Glad to see you here again, Aaron.
Thanks.
I am so disappointed to hear that the Riverdale cast isn't so great. But to be fair to them, if I had to perform
It's up here.
even half the things that's on that script, especially in this beyond insane season, I'd go crazy and become unbearable as well, no matter how much I'm paid.
Let me just be very, very clear about this. Erin is not saying that the cast of Riverdale are not great and wonderful people. She only said that somebody told
this
her
is
that. That's
one
she's not saying
person's
that.
opinion that
That is
I
not
should
her
not even
saying that.
repeated. So, but yeah, take that with the very small grain of salt. This was, and I imagine that there might be one person out there who says Aaron Cummings is a really bad person to work with. I don't know who that person would be because I'm just lovely and delightful. But there's probably that person.
Who told you? No, sorry.
We all have one. I know there's one person who's always like, Chris Carr's a bitch. And I'm like, oh, I love that you think that.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
we are all the villain in somebody's
Exactly.
story.
Yeah.
There you go. So unless you're John Krasinski or Brendan Fraser,
yes,
Henry
you
Wick,
shut
you are
your
just like the
whore mouth
nicest.
if you say one
Yeah.
bad thing about John
Yeah, so
Krasinski.
please don't take that with too much, and don't say Aaron. I literally could not name a single person who's in the cast of Riverdale. So take what I said with a grain of salt, but just know this: the cast of Nancy Drew, awesome.
Yeah, because that you do have firsthand experience.
I
with
do
that.
have firsthand experience, and they are just the loveliest.
All right, what's next?
From Zach Marcello, I know they're a sponsor, but after seeing you pitch it a couple times now, the resort has legit got me interested. Curious on y'all's thoughts on it?
Listen, I'll tell you what. It's one of these things where, like, I found out that Carl Urban was going to be on my panel with me prior to why am I freezing on the name of the movie that he did? Dread, thank you. I found out that they had given the okay that Carl Urban was going to come and join me on my panel, and that I was going to moderate the first screening of Dread with Carl Urban. And I found all that out before I had seen the movie. And I remember being a little bit in dread, a little bit of, oh my God, what if this movie sucks? I
Yeah.
remember I was talking to my whole team too. It was like, oh my God, what did I just sign ourselves up for? Because what if this movie sucks? Because I ain't going to lie. If the movie's bad, I'm not going to say, well, this movie's great. And I was like paranoid about the whole thing. A little bit of feeling that too. Like when I found out that Paramount was interested or Peacock, I should say, was interested in sponsoring the show with their show, The Resort. I'm like, but what if this show doesn't look good? And I told them, I said, we can't approve it yet until I go and watch the trailer for it. Don't approve it till I go watch the trailer. And I'm with you. I watched the trailer to it and I'm like, damn, I am legitimately completely into this. This looks really good. And then I approved the sponsorship. But yeah, I was a little bit worried about that too, but I completely agree with you. I think it looks great. But I mean, take that with the grain of salt that I am receiving money from Paycock.
Paycock.
That's a very, very different cut. Wow. The step screaming there is wild.
Paycock Max coming to you soon. Do keep. I literally am receiving money from Peacock too. But in all honesty, I agree with you. I think it looks great. All right,
Let's
what's
face
next?
it was my editing
Paycock.
skills on that's Paycock.
Paycock. All right, what's next?
From Paths Unwritten, Bruce is a character, Hulk's not. He can't do any more than repetitive smash scenes. Ruffalo deserves better than grunting as a CG model the whole time.
But you misunderstand. The brilliance of this character is not just Hulk smash all 2 hours of a movie. No, because I agree with you. That gets fatiguing. No, the beauty about this character is the dichotomy of Bruce and Hulk, right? That Bruce is the most unstoppable force of nature, but he never wants to let that out. And he's constantly in a struggle, a man against his own nature of trying to keep that in check and prevent that from being. I love what Black Widow said. All these guys, have always wanted me, like always ready to run into the fight. But then I met this guy who always ran away from the fight because he knew he'd win. I mean, there's like that line from Age of Ultron sums up the brilliance of this character. And Professor Hulk takes that dichotomy away. It takes that struggle away. It takes the conflict of man versus his own nature completely out of the question. And so, no, don't get me wrong. I don't want 2 hours of all smash Hulk all the time. Not at all. I want like 3/4 Bruce, 1/4 Hulk, but I want that dichotomy back. I want that struggle back. I want that conflict back. That's what I'm wanting because I think that serves the story better. Anyway, that's just me. All right, what's next?
Corey Hensley, looking forward to having my Tims when I head to my hometown in Minnesota. What's am I?
Michigan?
Michigan. Next month to get my burro and drive to Pittsburgh for Metallica and Greta Van Fleet.
Wow. Yeah, I forgot. First of all, it is so good that the blessings from Canada have flowed over into our friends in Michigan of Tim Hortons. It's the best. Y'all can keep your Starbucks or your coffee time or whatever, Dunkin', Yahoo's, whatever.
Fucking love Dunkin' Guy.
Tim Hortons.
That's SNL.
Yep.
It's so popular that even whenever I go back home, a ton of my American friends are like, "Can you bring me back some Tims?" I mean, it's seriously.
Like, what do they
all
want
the
you to
time.
bring them back?
Normally, it's not the thing I would have. It's the Tim Hortons coffee. Everybody asks me for the Tim Hortons coffee. Also, a lot of people ask for the Boston cream donuts from Tim Hortons. That is the greatest donut in the world, by the way.
Well,
I
not
can't imagine
fresh.
those travel well.
Yeah, they're not
You'd
fresh.
think, but the coffee travels really well because they'll sell it in cans.
Sure.
Everybody always asks me to bring. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't know, but there's that. All right, what's next?
So fun fact, the coffee that went flying forward in my car this morning, that was Tim Hortons.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, where did you? Oh, you must have made it at home.
It was, they have Keurigs. I might get them for the office.
Okay, very cool.
Ooh.
All right, what's next?
From Al Renshaw, I believe that, assuming it is as good as it looks, Black Panther 2 could come close to or best Spider-Man No Way Home opening weekend. The emotional impact of Boseman loss will drive movie to $220 million plus.
I don't know because Boseman's not there. I mean, he's not actually. Ray, can you do me a favor? Could you just double check the opening weekend box office of the first Black Panther movie? Listen, it's going to be big. It's definitely going to be big.
But his absence will not drive ticket sales.
I think there's going to be a curiosity about what they're going to be doing about this.
But I think the opening weekend is, and also the early reports are going to dictate a lot. It's all about those early reports of people such as yourself who see the movie and go, hey man, you know what? They had a really tough situation without Chadwick Boseman there, and they did a beautiful job of honoring his legacy and moving the story forward. It's a must-see film. If we get those kind of reports back, then yeah, we're going to see a great number.
202 million.
I mean, okay,
Domestic.
so I
could see it hitting 220 then.
Ooh, it's a tall order.
Especially when you add the Atlantean or whatever.
Well, I mean,
called now.
it's which I mean, listen, a lot of the average moviegoers don't know who Namor is. So, but
true.
I agree with Aaron. It's going to come down to what is the early word of mouth about it. Because if the early word of mouth comes out 3 weeks before the movie hits, and everybody starts saying this is it, like this movie is phenomenal, this movie's incredible, maybe. But I don't know that the absence of Chadwick Boseman is going to drive more ticket sales. But we'll see. Let's see how it turns out. All right, what's next?
Bad American Kid. All these actors talk about how great of an experience it is working for Marvel. Then there's VFX artists in their best Kate McKinnon voice. Little different for me.
But here's the reality. And this,
Thank you.
that was a really good
Thanks so much,
impression.
guys.
Here's the problem. The problems that are being expressed in the visual effects industry right now that happen to coincide with a lot of Marvel projects, these are all things that have been happening long before the MCU. Like back when, I keep forgetting the damn name of the movie, Ang Lee's movie with the tiger.
Crouching Tiger,
Crouching
Hidden
Tiger?
Dragon.
No.
Life of Pi.
Life of Pi.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I just know that movie with
The
the
tiger, I
Ang
should have
Lee's
said the
movie.
tiger in the boat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's a very, I mean, it's an unfortunate cautionary tale, but the company that won the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects of that movie immediately had to shut down because of the state of how the visual effects industry works. The way it works, it's on a bidding system. Like let's say I'm making a movie, Pickled Foot, okay? I decide to take Pickled Foot and we're going to make it a big franchise.
Moving forward with a new
And
villain, you son of a bitch.
with a brand new villain, had to move on.
The new Avengers.
I-
Foot.
So what I do is we put out a doc that says basically this. So here's the number of VFX shots we have. This is what needs to be done, blah, blah, blah. Bid on it. And then all the visual effects companies take that doc, they put together a bid and they say, we can do this job for $72 million. Or we
Like
can do this job
construction.
for what? Yeah, just like construction. We can do this job for $5 million. And so then they put that out, and with all the companies trying to get as low of a bid as possible, what happens is a lot of these companies bid so low that they will drive themselves out of business. Their artists have to work 20 hours a day. And then revisions have to be done, last minute changes, all that kind of stuff. Visual effects companies were being put out of business long before the MCU became the biggest thing. The issue right now, though, is that the MCU is the biggest client out there because they're making all these projects. But the problems we're hearing were the same problems we were hearing about other movies. And I've been saying for a long time, there needs to be a systemic change. I worked in the visual effects industry. There needs to be a systemic change in the industry itself. Because right now, the movie studios and anybody making a project just says, hey, here's what we do. You give us your lowest bid. And the companies are shortchanged, and they're creating such razor thin margins for themselves with these bids. Look, I don't know if it's an anti-competitive thing that they would have to deal with, but at some point, I think all the companies in the visual effects industry have to come together and make an agreement of some point that says we will never bid below a 5% margin. Like if you say you can do this movie for $10 million, then you promise that you are not going to put in a bid that's any lower than 10.5 or something like that, right? Like you cannot, because until the
Yeah, it
visual
just
effects
doesn't make
industry,
sense that would be the way to do business. You know, I mean, because I was thinking about, like, so when I tested for Astronaut Wives Club, which was a television show that I did on ABC, I remember, like, as an actor, I was sitting in there and I saw the other actresses that were auditioning for the same role. And she was a star of her own series. She was a star of her own series. And I remember thinking, well, I'm the cheapest actor they're going to get. So that was a good thing for me. And so in one sense, I can go, oh, okay, I can see how, like, you want to be the lowest bid. But at the same time, there's a minimum. There has to be, like, in SAG, we have actor minimums. You cannot go below this. And so I feel like there should be some sort of contractual thing like what you're saying of, hey, if we're going to be required to do X number of shots, there is a bare minimum industry standard, especially because we're in the midst of, you know, what's going on with the economy right now. You know, like prices of everything have gone up while prices that are being paid for visual effects are going down. And I'm actually quite frankly shocked that MCU doesn't have in-house visual effects team.
But you couldn't possibly have a team that's big enough. There's just so much work that needs to be done. It would be kind of pointless.
Marvel. And every single one of their properties, whether it's for film or for streaming, has a gargantuan amount of visual effects created.
Right. And it's much, much cheaper for them to contract out the work.
Yes. And also there's the risk of not having the standard be as high. You know what I mean? Like I'm really surprised that Marvel hasn't said, you know what, we're not going to be a part of this because we don't really, it makes us feel a little icky. So we're just going to create our own in-house special effects team with the best in the business. And we're going to guarantee them, you know, a good wage. We're going to guarantee them.
Financially, it's just not feasible. That the amount of artists you would have to hire it's astronomical. Like you would literally be putting like 5 times bigger than the other biggest visual effects company in the world. And again, just financially, it makes way more sense for them to contract the work out because it's way less expensive for them to contract it out than to try to create their own in-house division. It's the whole reason why we were able to have like jobs before back in that day. It's believe me, if any studio thought it was more economically sound for them to do it, they would do it in a heartbeat. But they know it's more economically sound for them to contract the work out. So it's
Sounds like someone needs to unionize. Someone needs to get a union.
something needs to happen. Something needs to happen to change the system.
Well, you know what is really exciting? Something is happening. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
And that is the way that great change happens is people go, hey, wait a minute. I didn't know that this horrible thing is happening. And that's not the way to treat employees.
Yep.
And why is this going on? And then all of a sudden people go, yeah, that's not cool anymore. And then people go, oh, well, I'm sorry. Well, we didn't mean to do anything bad. I guess we're going to.
But you know, it's funny. I was having this conversation with a buddy of mine the other day. We're all in the same boat because every time I make the decision to buy the less expensive pair of jeans that are not made by a company who pays a good solid living wage to their employees who make a higher quality jean and all that kind of stuff. But I make the choice to take the cheaper pair of jeans that's probably paying below living wage to some workers somewhere. That I'm contributing to the problem too.
Fast fashion.
It's a bigger issue. But for the
That's
visual
why
effects
we have
industry-
no pants Wednesdays, so
That's
we don't
right.
have to contribute
Exactly.
to fast fashion. We're just not wearing jeans at all.
Making the
All
sacrifice.
right, we need to
build
move on here.
pantless.
What's next?
From SOMD Picker, the end of the second trailer for Kang Dynasty cuts to Ant-Man. I have an idea. He shrinks into the quantum realm. Screen to black. You hear the banging of a hammer on metal.
I don't understand. I don't know the reference. Yep. Sorry about that. All right. What's next?
From Andrew Rice, some support. Thanks,
Thank you, Andrew Rice.
Well, maybe he went back in time to get like Iron Man, and when he was first, I don't know. But anyway,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh.
All right. What's next?
From Amin. Even if they're not part of the team, do you think new characters like Moon Knight, Blade, and like Kate Bishop will appear in one or both Avengers films?
I don't think so. I mean, I certainly don't think Moon Knight. I don't think Blade. That's too much of an outlier. Again, I'm not saying I know. Like after we watch a few more Marvel projects, we might change our minds on that. We're going to have to revisit this list probably every couple of months. We're going to have to go back and revisit this list. But for right now, I'll say I don't think so for now, but I reserve the right to change my mind. All right, what's next?
From My Comic Planet, the Green Bay Packers posted a video of Aaron Rodgers arriving at training camp looking like Nicolas Cage from Con Air. I
saw that.
Complete with the white tank top. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Did he enjoy the breeze? Did he do the whole like...
You know what? Listen,
Aaron, what happened to you?
he's one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. But he's a strange cat. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a strange dude. All right, what's next?
From Harry, John, you've been often called Battlestar Galactica the best TV show ever.
Yes.
True.
Do you mean the 1978 series or 2004? Do you need to watch the original series to watch 2004? Do I need to or should I watch the movies?
No, you don't need to go back and watch the original Lauren Green, Richard Hatch series of Battlestar Galactica. And I'm always referencing the Ronald D. Moore, the same show creator and showrunner of For All Mankind, did Battlestar Galactica. I believe it is the greatest television show in history. So I'm referring to that one. And no, you don't need to go back and watch the other one. You know, it's funny. I went back and watched the originals after watching the Ronald D. Moore one. It's like, they really did carry a lot of it over. I mean, which was really, really interesting.
I watched the 2004 version and I never watched the original.
Yeah, you don't need to watch the original at all.
No.
All right, what's next?
From Enzo the Baker, hey all, what are your parents' favorite movies?
My dad's favorite movie is Old Yeller. My mom's favorite movie, I believe, is Star Wars. I think my mom's favorite is Star Wars.
Wow.
My dad's favorite movie is Wind with Matthew Modine, and I don't know what my mother's is.
Aaron?
I have no idea.
I know my dad loved Happy Gilmore. Every time
Mom,
I was
are you in
on
the
TV,
chat?
he would watch it.
Your dad loved Happy Gilmore?
Yeah, Happy Gilmore.
And your mom's favorite is anything that's
Anything
on the
on
Hallmark
Hallmark.
channel.
Anything
Lifetime
on
or the
Lifetime,
Hallmark channel. That's
Hallmark
what-
My
channel.
dad just watches hunting shows all day long.
That sounds
Literally,
my
it's like
dad
if
too.
a buck's getting shot, then he's like, that's what I'm watching.
All right, what's next?
From Josh Becker, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies looks so good. Oof.
You know what? It's funny. Ann and I went to go see Prey the other day, the new Predator movie, and I saw the poster for it for the first time. And I'd never heard of it. And I thought it said boobies, boobies, boobies. I thought that's what I thought. I had to do a double take.
That took me to that.
I had to do a double take because I thought it said boobies, boobies, boobies. I'm like, that can't be right. Look a little bit closer. Oh, bodies, bodies.
from
I-
Peacock.
Yeah, from Paycock.
From Paycock, yeah.
Paycock
Perfect.
Plus.
Nice.
So I don't know anything about it. Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, so it's a whole bunch of people who are hanging out over the weekend, big party kind of situation. Lee Pace is in it. And they all decide to play this kind of icebreaker game called Bodies, 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 where there's a murderer and, you got to figure it out. But then things take a turn because there is a murderer
Oh,
and people
my.
start dying.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: knowing Lee Pace is in it, all of a sudden,
Lee Pace is in
that's
this.
what you just said.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I went from zero interest in this movie to I 100% will
I
see this
love
movie.
Lee Pace.
Good
He
Texas
is-
boy.
Oh, is he? He is so good.
All right, what's next?
From Jay Master. In an interview with MTV News at Comic-Con, Kevin Feige confirmed Spider-Man and Daredevil will set the level for their street superheroes of the MCU.
I did not hear that at all. I didn't hear that at all. I mean, I have to go back and see that, and that very well could be true. I'm just saying I have not seen anybody report that, so I'll take a look at it myself. All right, what's next?
From Amin, bad news. Although She-Hulk is 9 episodes, Feige confirmed it will only be 30-minute episodes, more similar to WandaVision length. This sucks.
Not surprising though. We already knew this was going to be a 30-minute comedy kind of setup. So I would have been shocked to find out it was like really the run when we load up She-Hulk and it says runtime, it's going to say 38 minutes, 41 minutes, because Marvel's TV shows have like 7 minutes of trailers and or not trailers, credits, and they include that in the runtime. But no, we've always suspected this was going to be 30-minute episodes, but I was just worried they were going to be 30-minute episodes at 6 episodes. The fact that it's going to be 9 is much, much better.
And it's also better to have 30-minute, tight, really good episodes than
For this style.
46-minute.
Yeah.
It works better.
All right, what's next?
From Dragonton, petition for John's character from Hulk to join the Avengers. He probably has superpowers now.
I can neither confirm nor deny anything. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to pull the John Krasinski on this and say I just can't talk about it. I'm not allowed to talk about it.
But
That's all I'm
could
Which
gonna
means
say.
it's true.
But are you saying?
Which means it's true.
I don't know. You tell me. Did
But
you
did
hear
they-
something? You know they don't tell me anything until it's
gosh.
time to shoot. So I got
Wild.
to be careful about that. All right, what's next?
From Anubis Genocide, one of two. I mostly think that with the exception of Captain Marvel, that only terrestrial heroes and Asgardians will be part of the Avengers lineup in Kang Dynasty.
There it is.
So no Doctor Strange, Guardians, etc. in Kang, but everyone else will instead be in Secret Wars. So it may be a split or different team lineups for each movie.
Could be. I mean, like with all the characters, and we had a list of 19, and there was a ton we were leaving out. I mean, it is theoretically possible that we could see one lineup for Avengers Kang Dynasty and then a completely different lineup for Avengers Secret Wars. I mean, I don't think that's what they're doing, but that is certainly a possibility. That's a good thought, man. All right, what's next?
From Matt Boyle, final battle in Secret Wars, everyone fighting, and Back in Black by AC/DC starts playing. Iron Man lands, taking off helmet, and in RDJ, crowd erupts.
Listen, I've told you forever that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. He will come back. It may not be this year, may not be next year, may not even be in 3 years. Secret Wars would certainly, when you understand the whole premise of Secret Wars, it's a very, very illogical place for that to happen. Again, I'm not saying it's going to happen there. I'm just saying eventually someday it will, and that would be as good a place as any. All right, what's next?
From Anthony, some support.
Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate that, man.
From Al Renshaw, the cousin, kid who co-ran the store from In the Heights, is one of the smoothest wingmen in movies and is a true player. What are some of the smoothest and best wingmen in movies that you can think of?
That's it. Well, here's the thing, Al. That's a 15-minute conversation. We can't.
No,
Can't really do that.
hi, Vince Vaughn and Swingers.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really good one.
That
That's
is
the one.
the penultimate wing person.
That's actually a really,
Wing
really good
person
pick. That's
for
a
being-
really good
Yeah.
pick.
If it's
Get
real
those
life, it's
beautiful
me.
babies.
I'm a great wingman.
I can't think of any off the top of my head. Again, that's something I have to sit down and think about for a while. So,
And I would
but
say
like-
Rose Byrne in Bridesmaids as a great wing woman for, if you're going to get married. I would totally want
Yeah,
her.
but that's not really what you're thinking when you're thinking wingman.
No, I know, but,
It's more the getting laid than getting married thing. It's really more the thing for a wingman.
well, I think that she would have been really good as a wingman
She
for
probably
that.
would have
I
been
think
good
she
at that
would have
too.
been
I'm just
good.
saying, you don't make someone your maid of honor for nothing.
Well,
Like,
that's true.
she got you
Beyond
she
the
got
movie.
you there.
That's true. That's true. All right, what's next?
From Andy, hi, John. You put White Wolf on the Avengers list. Did you mean Bucky Barnes or Jon Snow? I say add all of them to the Avengers.
Have you ever seen that YouTube video that somebody made where they take the Portals music and they had like portals opening up, but then they would use visual effects to show some, like they showed Hugh Jackman Wolverines walking through the portal, and then they showed Michael Keaton's Batman walking through. The camera cuts over here and like had everybody come through. Why not Geralt of Rivia?
There's one of John Travolta doing his whole like
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's great.
I see that one.
Fantastic.
That's really good. All right, what's next?
Son of Krypton 17. Hi from South Africa.
Hi.
Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man return in Secret Wars.
Like I said, he's going to come back. The question is when and where. That's as good a place as any, maybe. All right, what's next?
From Andy. I kind of don't want Supernatural to leave Netflix because it helped introduce Supernatural to more fans to the point that the CW pulled them out of the Friday graveyard time.
I mean, listen, for a lot of shows for many years, once their show was able to be on Netflix, that kind of would sometimes spark a renewed interest in the show itself. However, Supernatural is now known. I mean, people know Supernatural, and I have very, very little doubt that it's going to end up probably on HBO Max at some point. They're just going to pull it back over there. Why would you let another network have it that you're in competition with once the lease expires? All right, what's next?
From Andrew Rice. Anyone peep Johnny Blaze poster and She-Hulk clip?
I did not.
I didn't.
All right, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. If any of you guys know where that is, send me a time.
1 minute 50.
1 minute 50?
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, I'm gonna have to check that out
On the
because
ball.
that is fascinating. I'll have to
What
go
like
check
kind of
that.
poster?
Probably just a little Easter egg, but still fascinating.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
John Wicked sending in some support. Thanks, John.
Thank you, man.
Michael Croson got one of my fiance's wedding gifts sorted. Framed lyrics of "You're all I need to get by" from Coda. Oh, it's our first dance. 3 more days. Thanks for advice.
See,
Wow.
see, this is why punctuation, paying attention is all very important. Because when you first started reading that, I heard one of my fiancés. It's like, it's less romantic now.
Yep.
How many you got going?
Yeah,
3?
sister wives.
Yeah, my secret wives. All right, what's next?
From Garrett. Hello, John. With the new Avengers team still up in the air, do you think an Eternal could team up with a Celestial for the next Avengers level threat? P.S. Totally digging the clear frames, Chris. Oh, thanks. These are my backup glasses. I couldn't find my other ones.
Listen, the Celestials, I can't think of anything in the MCU that represents a bigger threat than the Celestials. So, but I don't think an Eternal needs to team up with them to do it. Like the Eternals are bugs to the Celestials. But so I don't know. Maybe. Again, I don't know what they're going to do with that. Rob keeps talking about this, and I agree. A Celestial appeared over the world and said, "I'm coming back to judge," and nobody's even mentioned it since. So I don't know. We got to see. All right, what's next?
From Lucky BX. Hi, crew. Wild speculation. The missing 7th Illuminati member in Multiverse of Madness is the Black Panther variant, and it's possible we'll see him in an end credit scene for Black Panther 2.
I don't think so. I don't think they're going to get into. Now, this is the whole multiverse kind of era of things, but I don't think they're going to do that. And I think they're going to move on from that. Other than Reed Richards, I don't think we're going to get a lot of Earth 838 at this point. But hey, never know. Maybe. What's next?
From Stubble McShave. Mad God, Marcel and Pinocchio. Return of stop motion.
Oh yeah, because Marcel is also stop motion, isn't it? I'll be honest with you. I didn't even click into me watching the Pinocchio trailer that it was stop motion for a bit. I just thought it was CGI. Then when they mentioned stop motion, I'm like, oh yeah, obviously that's what it is. Yeah. It's gorgeous.
It's so pretty.
Speaking of visual effects companies that work a lot of hours, stop motion is no joke.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
my gosh, yeah.
that's crazy. All you gotta do is watch Parks and Rec to know that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Stand in the place. I worked on that for 3 weeks. It's one of the great moments of Parks and Rec. All right, what's next?
From Hero75. I would be surprised if Loki and Sylvie made their appearance in Kang Dynasty. Besides, I want them to meet Thor.
I'm not gonna lie, I could give or take Sylvie, but Loki showing up would make sense. It'd be a great emotional moment for Thor, all that kind of stuff. But Loki has more experience in dealing with Kang than anybody else in the MCU. Literally. So, that really would be interesting to see. All right, what's next?
From Ryan Launer. Happy 100th birthday to Norman Lear.
Yep.
One of the all-time greats who still seems to have the energy of someone a quarter of his age.
He does. And again, when I saw that, I'm like, I knew he was older, but I didn't know he was 100. Like that was really fun to see.
And just can we really quickly just kind of do a little bit of a rundown of some of the things that Norman Lear has done for those of you that are like, who the hell is Norman Lear? He produced things like All in the Family, Sanford and Sons, The Jeffersons, Maude, Fried Green Tomatoes, the movie, which is now apparently going to be a TV show with Reba McEntire.
He defined a generation of television.
Oh, absolutely. In the 70s, he was the dude. nude. And for me, like growing up watching Facts of Life, that was
I didn't realize that was one of his.
yeah, Facts of Life, and then I always watch Sanford and Sons with my All in the Family, Archie Bunker's Place. Just classic 1970s television.
All right, what's next?
From the punster. Whoever stole the copy of my Microsoft Office, I will find you. You have my word.
All right. But true story. I haven't used Microsoft Office in about 15 years. What was the first one? Not there was the first free alternative that came out.
Paper?
Nope.
Paper.
It was
That's so analog.
what was it? It was the name of a software package that was the first one that ever came. Now there's tons of them. Like there's LibreOffice and there's all these kinds of ones. But the first one that came out that was like, hey, this is our own suite. It looks like the Microsoft suite and it opens Microsoft's things, but it's not. I switched to that like 15 years ago, and now I'm totally on Google Docs. Like I
They're
use
saying Open Office.
Open Office. I think that's the one I use. Yes, thank you. I think I switched to Open Office and now I use all the Google Docs suites. I have not used a Microsoft product other than OneNote. I do use OneNote, but I haven't used like their Office suite in a long, long time. All right, what's next?
From Blue Rock, 1 of 2. Regarding
only one.
Shuri, okay. Regarding Shuri being Black Panther and instant great fighter, Jane wasn't a fighter, and then poof, she's the God of Thunder. It's just silly.
No, remember we talked about this yesterday. There is a difference. Mjolnir, this magical, mystical thing enchanted by the god Odin, forged in the heart of a dying star. Like when it gave, and remember, what was the incantation? Whoever possesses the thing shall possess the power of Thor. It enabled her to do all that, this magical, like whatever thing. Nothing in Black Panther that they exhibited on screen in the movie suggested that the herb gave you fighting skill. It just gave you healing, durability, strength, stuff like that. And nothing in that said the herb gave you the fighting skill. That's why T'Challa had to train his whole life. That's why Killmonger was the soldier his whole life and learned how to fight and did all that kind of stuff. So in the mythology, Mjolnir can do that. The heart-shaped herb can't. Now, what I said on yesterday's show still holds. We've now know that Bast is going to be a character in this universe. Whether Bast is going to come, that's the god of Wakanda, is going to play a part in Black Panther 2 or not, I don't know. But if Bast like appears and says like, you are my chosen champion, and can like mystically give those skills to Shuri, that would be a narrative explanation for that. And I would buy it. I would accept that. That would be great. But otherwise, no, they're trying to compare the stuff with the magical Odin god spell of Mjolnir in Thor is a completely different thing. They're trying to compare that to the Shuri situation, unless Bast does something, which is possible. All right, what's next?
From Hero75, my friends and I got into a debate. Could we see 90s versions of more modern Marvel characters in X-Men 97, such as Ms. Marvel? And is it a good idea?
I don't think it's a good idea, but I mean,
It takes place in 97 though, so it wouldn't make sense.
exactly. Well, here's the thing. It depends on, is this X-Men show a standalone pocket thing, or is it supposed to be, no, this is what happened in 1997 in the MCU. In the world of the MCU, this was going on back then. And I just don't know the answer to that. I don't know, so it would really all depend.
That would be hard because that means that X-Men from 96 and before took place in the MCU as well.
Yeah, it would. I mean, look, it's fraught with problems, but who knows? Let's see what their philosophy is moving forward. All right, what's next?
From Andy, Jensen Ackles is Soldier Boy, and you might want to gargle my ball sack. Me, oh, Jensen, if only I could.
How good was, look, I was just excited that Jensen Ackles was going to be there because I'm a big Supernatural fan. But honestly, how good was Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy?
He
Well,
killed it.
I randomly was reading this just yesterday. Apparently, he said that that he was up against like major movie stars.
That he can't say who they were.
Of course not, but that he was like, this is just not going to happen, because if they could get that person, why would they hire me? And I'm so thrilled that he got it, you know. And I think it's a great way for him to step into this new. I mean, I'm sorry, I did not watch Supernatural, but I'm assuming that his character was not terribly like Soldier Boy. So I like to see an actor diversify themselves and step out of one role that they've played for so long and do something totally different.
I will say this. Some of the personality traits of Soldier Boy were not unlike Dean Winchester in Supernatural, but Dean Winchester is also a very good person and whatever.
Right.
But
He's a sweet boy.
I just
So his
loved him as this.
essence was there.
Yes.
The essence of every actor you
Because
carried
that's
that
what the
through,
character called for. The character, and that's why it fit the character so well. So even though there were these big movie stars that wanted the role, Jensen Ackles was the right guy for it. It was just the better fit, you know. And just, of course, the reunion of Supernatural, because the showrunner of The Boys was also the showrunner of Supernatural that cast him in that. So that's why you see a number of Supernatural people in The Boys. All right, what's next?
From Tim Platt, going out on a limb to say that Super Pets is going to be a surprise delight, like Teen Titans Go to the Movies was.
You know what's funny? One of the first reviews I read was from the guy from the Boston Globe, I think it was. And he made that comparison. He said, now, this is not the roaring, like, laugh out loud that Teen Titans Go to the Movies was. I never watched Teen Titans Go to the Movies, but he says it's not as funny as that. But it is a charming, fun little film. So it's funny that you bring up that comparison because I read that comparison myself. All right, what's next?
From Tifale, Man of Steel 2 without Henry's face.
The whole movie,
whole
all
movie.
you never see his face. That's it. It's like Tim the Toolman Taylor's next door neighbor, but the whole movie. Never hear him talk. All you ever see is the crest.
It's just his mustache that got photoshopped out as the head. Really good.
All right, what's next?
From Sin Vendetta, wow, I was wondering why Brendan Fraser was gaining so much weight. I had no idea it was for this movie role. I was really starting to worry about him.
Well, look, he didn't. Brendan Fraser did not put on 600 pounds. No, there is. I mean, yeah. Listen, Brendan Fraser is a little bigger right now than he's been in his younger years in his career. But that picture from the whale, that's also prosthetics on there.
Yeah.
He's not that big. All right, what's next?
From Rachel Knight Online, Hogan, Hall, and Nash took down WCW, now the MCU.
I don't get it.
NWO. We're talking about how the NWO, our list was like the NWO.
Right?
I have no idea, but I'm just connecting it.
I was trying to think, but now taking down the MCU, is that a Happy Hogan reference? Okay, I am.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
From Frank G. Hey, John and crew. Now that we know Black Panther 2 is the end of Phase 4, what do you think of the movie ending with Doom showing up at a post-credit scene to say, fine, I'll do it myself?
Saying that to myself the other day.
Well, that was the big topic of our mailbag the other day. Like, what is the chances that Doom shows up in Black? Now, look, there's a couple of reasons why you could. There's a couple of good narrative ways. Like maybe even at T'Challa's funeral, like another head of government, Victor Von Doom, head of the government of Latveria, that's the name of his country, right? Shows up and we meet him. Could be. I got a feeling, though, they're not going to introduce Dr. Doom in some small little bit part in another movie. But, I mean, there would be narrative ways to make it work. I'm going to guess no, but it's valid. It's a valid possibility. All right, what's next?
From Luca S. John, it's all about family. Thanks to Shazam, another franchise utters the iconic phrase.
Well, the funny thing is that they directly make jokes about the Fast and the Furious in it as well. So they kind of played right into that, and I like that they did that. I cannot wait for the new Shazam movie. I'm very excited for it. All right, what's next?
From Monkey Boy, what about Nova in the lineup? I'm still holding out hope he's one of the unrevealed movies.
I don't think so. With every project we see coming up, I just don't see a way to establish him in time for that. So, but hey, listen, the reality is it's still a few years away, so anything can happen. So maybe. All right, what's next?
From Cody Hunt, the MCU has never said who became the Black Panther during the 5-year blip. That has to be addressed, right?
Well, yes and no. It is very likely there was no Black Panther during the 5-year blip because what happened in Black Panther? Killmonger destroyed the last of the heart-shaped herbs. And you can't have a Black Panther without the heart-shaped herb. And so I got a feeling part of this movie is going to be about the discovery or something of another heart-shaped herb. But yeah, during that 5-year blip, there wouldn't have been a way for somebody to become the Black Panther. All right, what's next?
From Tevin Como, is it possible that they keep Henry a secret, much like they did for No Way Home?
Possibly. Again, like I said, why have we still not seen ultimately who's Black Adam fighting in this movie?
Right, exactly.
And Aaron raised good points too about wanting that big delivery moment.
Yeah.
I might end up eating crow on that one.
I no longer think Henry's going to be in it. Sorry. Oh, he's over here now. But there are still some dangling participles. Like there are still some hanging questions.
Some hanging
here.
chads.
Some hanging chads about, well, what about this? And what about the fact that they are the same manager? And what about the fact that he says that the cape is still in the closet? And what about the fact that we still haven't seen, even though we're 2 trailers into Black Adam now, and we still haven't seen ultimately who he's fighting. Hey, listen, I may not believe that Henry's going to be in anymore, but you'd be crazy not to say that it's still at least a possibility because there are still those questions out there. All right, what's next?
From Kylo Ken, some support. Thank you, Kylo Ken.
Thank you, Kylo.
From John Campea. I'm willing and ready to take a giant load of Wong.
You know, as soon as Aaron said that, I'm like, well, there's one of the big catchphrases coming.
You're going to get it.
Everybody wants a lot of Wong. All right, what's next?
From My Comic Planet, I've been watching Carnival on HBO for the first time, and wow, this show is wild. I'm hooked. Are you a fan of this show?
No. I am not a huge fan of it. My wife Ann loves it. So it's Kara.
Isn't that Carnival Row?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, Carnival,
I did
the
not
old
watch
school
Carnival.
Right, that's
HBO. You know, I
Yes.
never watched it because I didn't have HBO at the time, but that is a good one to go back now that they're, you know, everything on HBO and everything that's ever been on HBO is now on HBO Max,
yeah.
is to go back and watch that because Tom got me into Deadwood years
So
after
good.
the show. And I was like, this is because you know, as we all know, the greatest trauma of my childhood was my parents not getting me HBO, so I missed out on Fraggle Rock. So now I know.
That's
I know.
horrible. You
So-
can't cast your fears away.
Or your worries for another day.
I don't know how to do that because my parents
Nothing
were
easy
terrible
play.
people. Just kidding, Mom. I love you. I know you're watching. But yeah, I that is definitely one that I want to go check out and binge is Carnival.
All right, what's next?
From My Kid Banana, just sending you guys some love.
Oh, thank you, Mike. It's always nice when people just want to send us support. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, man.
Dragon 10, how does the script writing process work around actor contract negotiations? Do they write multiple scripts until they know the actor is on board?
No. I mean, listen, I'm sure there have been some examples of sometimes that happening, but generally speaking, no. That's usually, Aaron, you've been involved in this process.
Are we
a
talking
lot.
about television or film?
I'm guessing film.
I mean, usually it all starts with the script, and then the actor is often the last, you know, group of people. They've hired the, you know, production designers and, you know, they've hired pretty much the entire team before they hire the actors. And so a lot of times it's really just about the, if it's a movie, then yeah, they already have the scripts in, you know, planned, and then the actor is put in afterwards. And then of course, if they go, okay, we've hired like Andrew Garfield and you have a 3-movie contract. That's another reason why we see a lot of actors. I mean, I had a friend who auditioned. He was going to audition for the X-Men and his team decided they should pass on it.
That's horrible.
He was asking me my advice. He's like, I don't want to be locked into a 7-picture deal. And I go, why not?
Yeah,
Why would you not want to be locked into a 7-picture deal? So they lock them in for a certain number of, and as you said, there's many clauses that can get someone out of that, but it's usually to the benefit of the studio, not to the benefit of the actor.
So basically, they get the script, and then the idea is you get the actor who will fit the script, not the other way around.
100%. You know, unless you have someone like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, that's when they go, okay, well, we will create something for you.
Well, that when Dwayne's producing those himself anyway.
There you go.
The best thing I ever heard was Graham Shields. He's an actor out here and an amazing acting coach who always says the script already has the job.
Yeah, the
Because
script
so
already
many
has the
actors
job.
are
I
like,
love
this
that.
is terrible. And it's like, they're hired. You're not.
All right,
that's
what's
a good
next?
point.
From Tevin Como, Iron Man's suit is a weapon in battle. Black Panther's suit is just an enhancement.
It's not even really an enhancement. It's more armor than anything else. Now, of course, once we get to the end of Black Panther, it has that kinetic energy expulsion thing. But yeah, the Iron Man suit is literally the weapon. That's what that is. There is a difference between the two. All right, well pointed out. What's next?
From Raymond Barata, Destin Daniel Cretton is directing the Wonder Man series. Do you think he introduces Wonder Man in Kang Dynasty? Where's Wonder Man on phase 5 or 6?
I have a feeling he's not. I know they announced a couple of years ago that he was going to do that, but a lot of things can happen between then and now. And I don't see how you can do a project the size. Remember, the directors and actors are different. An actor will come in, you know, act in the movie for a couple of months and then leave. The director is on these projects for years, and especially a project as big as an Avengers movie. I don't see, I mean, listen, I've read no official thing that says Destin isn't doing that anymore. I haven't seen that, but I have a hard time believing he still has anything to do with that when all of his attention for the next 3 to 4 years is going to have to exclusively be on this Avengers movie. So I don't know. We'll see how it works out. What's next?
From Ben Rayner, new Pinocchio trailer did the one thing Disney didn't do, and that is show Pinocchio. For that reason alone, this was a better trailer.
Yeah, but remember that the name of the other one is not Pinocchio. The name of the other one is Geppetto. And so like Tom Hanks's character, they're making Geppetto the center of that one. So maybe yes, but you're right. It would have been nice to see the Pinocchio. It really would have. All right, what's next?
From Jay Master, the Illuminatis from Ms. Marvel will be in the Avengers.
Yes.
Aaron, what are your thoughts on the Wakanda Forever trailer?
Oh yeah, you weren't here when we watched the new Wakanda Forever trailer.
I am sorry. I mean, if it does not have to do with solving crimes in Horseshoe Bay on Nancy
That's right.
Drew
You've been
on
a
the
little
CW,
busy.
I don't know. I have no idea. I have not got a chance to see it. I have a lot of. I haven't even had a chance to watch the rest of Miss Marvel.
Oh, you haven't finished it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you're going to have so much fun.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Actually, when we're done, I got to show you the Black Panther trailer.
Okay, cool.
I think we should probably film that too.
I was
All
going
right.
to say, why don't you just put it up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll probably film her watching it. All right, what's
Okay.
next?
Seconds from Disaster sending in a $20 super chat.
Thank you, Seconds from
you.
Disaster.
I think the funeral in Wakanda Forever is after T'Challa was dusted, and the underwater earthquake mentioned in Endgame could be from underwater mining for vibranium or something with Namor. Then later they can recast T'Challa.
I listen. It could be. I will tell you right now. I will be completely shocked if they say, "Oh, there was some underwater earthquakes." Has anything to do with Namor? I always because just the whole point of that scene was them trying to explain to Black Widow, not every odd little thing that happens is something that's important that we need to worry about. It was just. I really don't think it had anything to do with it. But again, they could, and I will be. I'm just telling you, I'll be shocked if they do because I think it was nothing.
It could have been the Celestial.
Or it could have been a waking celestial,
Yeah.
which I don't think it's going to be that either. I think it was literally what they were trying to convince Black Widow it was. Nothing.
Yeah.
It was nothing. All right, anyway. What's next?
From Sven86, over under 20% that the real Hulk gets unleashed again at the end of She-Hulk.
Under. Look, I hope they do that at some point, but I don't see them doing it in a comedy like She-Hulk. Although one can hope. Maybe if he does, maybe Abomination goes off the rails again, and the only thing that can really stop him is a Hulk. Maybe, but I won't say 0, but I'll go under 20. All right, what's next?
From Tim Platt, favorite Norman Lear project.
I said mine was Facts of Life, but I also loved 227.
Archie Bunker was so. I gotta go. Not Good Times.
On the
All the
Family.
On the Family,
Not
the
All in the
Jeffersons,
Family. Not the
Maude.
Jeffersons. Not
Archie's
Maude.
Place.
Maybe it is
Sanford and Sons.
Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Sanford
I
and
gotta
Son.
go Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Go, Elizabeth.
I mean, that's just so good. All right, what's next?
From Anthony Boniski, excuse me.
Boniski.
Fear not, John. Just because Henry might not be in Black Adam doesn't necessarily mean he's done as Superman.
I mean, that's true. That's true. I'm starting to think he is done as Superman. But you know what? Listen, hope springs eternal, my friend. Hope springs eternal. All right, what's next?
From the Value Project. Maybe Nakia will be in Black Panther because of Ramona says all of her family were lost.
Listen, so it is possible that different people, like it could be that Wakanda's facing a problem and Shuri, with the best of intentions, just says that, she decides to put on the Black Panther costume to try to deal with it herself with the best of intentions, right? Best of intentions. And it doesn't work out. And then somebody else becomes, look, my picks in order, the most logical choice, unless they bring in a brand new character, which is possible. And I'm open to that. Yeah. The most logical choices in order for me of being the new Black Panther are 1, M'Baku. He has the most legit claim to it. And he is the best warrior in Wakanda. 2, Okoye. She, as the head of the Dora Milaje, could also lay claim to being the best warrior in there and loyal to Wakanda and all that kind of stuff. 3, Nakia. She is also a trained warrior, international espionage, T'Challa's queen, and a part of royal lineage too. She could have laid claim in the beginning of Wakanda. She could have been one of the people to lay claim to it that nobody else did until M'Baku came along. And then at number 47 is Shuri, who is a top 5 favorite MCU character of mine, but she's a top 5 MCU character of mine because of what she is. The smartest person in the MCU and super funny. But Black Panther, no. So we'll see. But I'm starting to buy into the theory that there are going to be multiple people who have the moniker of Black Panther at certain points, and maybe somebody else ends the movie as the new Black Panther. We'll find out. All right, what's next?
Yay!
Oh, that's it. And guys, that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making this show part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in those super chats. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did it. And all of us involved here with the show, thank you guys so very much for your support. I want to thank the people sitting in the room with me. Of course, we got now one of the new stars of Nancy Drew.
Woo-woo.
We're so excited for you in that. Cannot wait to see you in it. Anyway, Aaron Cummings is here. Aaron, where can people follow you online?
Oh, you can check me out at Aaron L. Cummings. No, just, Aaron L. Cummings. Sorry, I forgot about that. Aaron L. Cummings on Instagram.
And sitting right beside, of course, Chris Carr. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Actor Chris Carr or at Speak Friends Studio. We are starting our studio over there, so you can get voiceover knowledge and demos from us. Go there.
Yes.
That's awesome. Of course, Ray Orr is there. Ray, where can people follow you? And of course, Jonathan Voico.
Find me over here with Robert Meyer Burnett. Find me on Sonic 1.
And you guys, of course, can follow me on Instagram or on Twitter, simply at John Campea. That'll do it for us for today, guys. Don't forget to come back tomorrow for the next episode of the John Campea Show. For those of you who are channel members, we have a town hall meeting for channel members at 3:30 Los Angeles time today. Make sure you come and join us for that. And that'll do it for us, guys. Thanks a lot for being here. My name's John Campea. And until next time, my friends, Wong.